All right, fellow homosexuals. Let's get down to this politics business, huh? 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 Uh-huh. Yeah, you know what's up. Hello. Vosh early? No, now it's 5. The stream start time was 5. I saw people in chat saying that the stream start time was early. It's not. The State of the Union address is at 6. The stream starts at 5. So we can talk before the State of the Union address. Hi, Vosh. I hope today is a chill stream. I don't know why you'd hope that in a day like today. You know, I got a really good sleep, but then I spent all day doing chores and now I'm tired. But it's a good kind of tired, you know. So that's nice at least. Yeah, Sweden finally joins NATO. Can't believe they're not capitalizing every letter in NATO here. Can't believe they're not putting respect on that goddamn name. Can you believe that shit? Honestly, should be illegal. NATO triggering Article 5 against the Guardian for more reason than one. The 32nd member of NATO. We're almost there, okay? Soon we'll have the entire world. Hello, Vosh. I wanted to ask your opinion on how many seats Democrats could win and lose in both the House and Senate. It's you. Oh, sure. I've got the numbers right here. They gave them to me ahead of time. I'd be happy to share them with you. In just a minute. 20-month-long wait that started in May. I remember. Man, Russia really is accomplishing all of its goals in the 3-day special military operation. They've taken control of the sweatiest portion of Ukraine. They've pushed a bunch of European powers away from Euroscepticism. A few of them into NATO. Like, good lord, right? Oh, God. Need to wash this glasses cleaning cloth. Thankfully, I keep backups. Purple. Should I be drunk for the State of the Union? Drinking doesn't sound bad, actually. Maybe I should drink a little bit. Maybe I should get a bit toasted. I am trying to watch my calories. And given the fact that I'm already tired, any alcohol in me would just pretty much knock me right out as soon as I sobered up, but... I don't know why these cleaning cloths aren't being reliable today. I used to just clean with my shirt. That was what I did for decades and decades. Maybe the old ways are best. But the shirts I wear aren't all the right kind of cotton for cleaning glasses anymore. Drink only if you want to drink. Don't let us peer pressure you. You don't need to infantilize me. I am 30. Do you think chat can peer pressure me into anything? Do you know how much I enjoy disappointing chat? Did you see Elon repping Bakunin? It's all over. The world might be very different if Bakunin had made it to the Netherlands on time and enabled the anarchist faction to win the debate against Marx. Man, that is fucking brutal. Block both these accounts? They must be very annoying. When the people are being beaten with a stick, they're much happier if it's called the people stick. Oh, man, this is, like, devastating for Twitter anarchists today. This is a rough one for them. Ooh. It's like back when Elon said he was an anarcho-syndicalist. Twitter is cooked for the love of God, kill it. He's just saying words. He loves doing that. Oh man, I've got a bunch of links here. Why the fuck do I have so many tabs open already? Oh my god. Breaking. National Guard and police checking bags at Grand Central subway station, New York City. Earlier today, Governor Hochul announced deploying a National Guard and state police in New York City subways after violent crime. Cool. I noticed that this is Freedom News TV, and the person we're reading this from is just like a random account from Freedom News TV. Is there a more legitimate source from which I could hear this? Like, preferably not from freedomnews.tv? Well, I guess I'll watch the video. Associated Press covered it. So you're telling me this isn't completely made up? That's great, dude. Hell yeah. Love living in America. Rifles? It's the National Guard. They're soldiers. Governor of New York deployed National Guard because of one stabbing per day. I look forward to the national adoption of our strategy of dealing with crime and homelessness, where we spend $1 trillion a week on police and law enforcement so we can prevent 1/10 of the crime that we cause by not spending 100th of that on, like, welfare programs, you know? They'll do everything to make cars the only way to reasonably navigate this country. Well, what we need, actually, is, like, DUI checkpoints every 5 meters. That's actually the only way. We need to let the police state work for us, okay? We can't fight the police state, but we can shape it into something that suits our interests, all right? Love the, that guy looks ridiculous. Bitch and hair. Do you think those cop cowboy hats are drippy at all? No, not even, no, there's literally, like, nothing on earth more repellent and ugly than a cop or a sheriff wearing a cowboy hat. Just open it up so they can visually look in. Crime jumped in New York City subway from one stabbing every 28 hours to one stabbing every 23 hours. Yeah, crime's going to keep going up too. Crime is there are predictable sociological metrics that you can use to chart the development of crime in any environment. It has to do with, like, a breakdown in public trust. It has to do with wealth inequality, not just poverty, but inequality. It has to do with, like, the deconstruction of social services. Like, there are a bunch of things that you can track, and all of it's going to get worse. Like, all of this is getting worse, you know? But police and the military aren't going to do shit to fix any of this. It's not going to fix these problems, you know? You can temporarily depress these numbers, but, like, ultimately, you have to address their underlying causes. This is Kathy Hochul's announcement tweet video about it. Well, the problem is this is going to be really politically popular because Americans love being told that, like, 50% of their tax dollars are going to go towards somebody truncheoning a homeless guy in a subway, you know?
Here's the message today. Anyone looking to do harm or spread fear on our subway.
Am I wrong, or does it have fascist undertones? Undertones? Hochul? Hochul.
You will be caught. Plain and simple. There will be consequences. This has to end. New Yorkers deserve no less. And to those who are feeling anxious whenever they walk through those turnstiles, we will stop at nothing to keep you safe.
Yeah, man. Nothing prevents anxiety than going down the escalator to see that your, like, mode of transportation to and from work is being occupied by enough military force to take over a small country. I love that feeling of comfort and safety that embraces me when I turn a corner and the National fucking Guard are there for some reason. When I'm observing me as I descend the escalator is a National Guardsman doing the "you had to do it to him" pose right here with the goddamn boots, you know, fucking just waiting. Is this not unconstitutional? Nah, you can search people before they enter transit shit. That's allowed. No, Vosh, this is unconstitutional for the National Guard to do it. Is there any reason why the National Guard couldn't be used to do something the police would normally do anyway? It's also in that 100-mile border zone. Yeah, but I don't think you would need the 100-mile border zone. They're just doing the same stuff you do with, like, the TSA, you know? I guess. I mean, clearly they're doing it anyway. You can't use military as police in the USA. Well, but they're not necessarily enforcing the... Well, hold on. That depends on what exactly they're doing. Second of all, like... it doesn't seem like they're searching the bags. It seems like they're just in the area, you know, looking spooky. And third of all, there are functions of the police they could do. Like, think of the Little Rock Nine, right? I mean, protecting people is nominally one of the things the police can do. Anyway, this isn't unconstitutional. I love all this freedom. Thank you, Freedom News TV, for bringing this to me. Disney World has these walkthrough scanners that are way faster and less intrusive. Why didn't they just do those? Because those require coordination, maintenance, skill, training, and money. That's the problem, right? Like, they want to spend the money on the cops, not on the actual system for letting people through. Like, the New York Metro needs a lot of updates and a lot of money injected into it to make it work well. But the problem is, like, okay, this is like one of the issues. This is people's brains short out when it comes to, like, crime and safety and law enforcement and all that stuff. Okay, at Disney, the people at Disney, like Disney World, like the theme park, you know, the people whose job it is to, like, manage crowds at Disney World, those people are wizards, okay? Their one job is to do that thing, and they are given a lot of power in deciding how it's done. Like, this is an actual consequence of the streamlining of corporate interest. It makes them more money to do this thing well, so they are going to do that thing well. The problem is, when it comes to law and order bullshit, we're dealing with a couple of like bureaucratic filters between the voter and the politician, and then, like, the bureau that manages this and the police and everything, and people's brains tend to short circuit. I can't talk at all today. God fucking damn it, this is gonna be a problem. Can't short circuit, you know, so they don't manage things effectively, and they also don't have much of a long-term vision of what needs to be done, if that makes any sense. Yeah, it looks like the National Guard are just, like, standing around. They're being very helpful. Thank you. I love paying your salary. Well, I guess they'd have their salary paid in anyway. The only thing this did today was piss people off. It was so obnoxious. That's so cool. I love that. Thank you, New York. Thank you. The Fourth Amendment prohibits unreasonable searches and seizures. That doesn't apply here. So I say no to a search. What happens? They won't let you into the metro. Maybe try locking up the criminals and not letting them go hours later without posting any bail. Just a thought. Complicated issue. Very complicated. Why did DeSantis make the New York City subway a police state? Okay. Well, big questions happening in the Twitter replies. Big questions, big thoughts, you know? Big thoughts. The video is still playing. What the fuck? Why the fuck did it start playing again? Oh my god. Did you see the JKR Twitter drama? No? I'm glad I don't have my screen on the main monitor. I clicked on Sydney Sweeney, which is trending, and her big, giant, fat fucking milkers are right up there. That's crazy. Huh. She's so pretty. That is true. She is an attractive woman. Um, yeah, the isn't that like a whole I think I have some tabs here that are related to that. There's literally like a whole culture war meme going on right now where Sydney Sweeney had her tits out like she had visible cleavage during a program. What was she hosting SNL, I'm guessing, from the background here? She ended wokeness. Yeah, wokeness is dead. That's right, because she's got her big naturals out. Um, personally, you know, they are big and they are natural. Maybe I don't know. I'm not her doctor. I would have flattered them, I think, with a different dress. I don't like the style of dress. I think it's unflattering. But you know, I'm more of a men's fashion kind of guy. Um, this is actually a thing people are talking about. How does that happen? Wokeness is no match for Sydney Sweeney's undeniable beauty. Do I have to pretend this is like real politics, or can we just say the right wing got horny and because she's a blonde white woman, they're trying to politicize it? Um, you know, it's like because sometimes it really is that simple. Ah, yes, we're getting into the real politics now. Well, I've said many times before, and I know that some people still interpret it as a joke because it sounds like a joke, but politics are fundamentally like an expression of insecurity and emotional bias, and in a lot of cases, sexual insecurity and sexual bias. A whole bunch of fascism in particular is just feeling like you're entitled as a guy, because fascists tend to be guys, um, to like a specific kind of attention from women because of a variety of like standards men are raised to. And when you don't have that, you kind of like anxiously seek out things to scapegoat. Like you blame immigrants or black people or wokeness or feminism or whatever else. That's one of the reasons why there's that big trend of right wingers who will go over to Southeast Asia, known sexpat haven, and say like, ah, well, I like my Japanese girlfriend, you know, once I find one, because she's not been corrupted by wokeness and feminism, not realizing my understanding of that particular issue is that Japanese women are not exactly jumping at the bit to get with mediocre white boys from America who are looking for demure, submissive housewives. Um, so, you know, normally that imbalance is addressed by, you know, the Westerner being a lot wealthier. And in that case, they're essentially just buying a wife, you know. It's pretty grim. Keep your politics out of my porn. Were it only possible. What are they even saying here? Are Sydney Sweeney's breasts double D harbingers of the death of woke? Yeah, sure. Okay, yeah, what's the summary here? Exactly how this led to a cultural cataclysm over beauty and wokeness can be summarized as follows. We've spent years being chastised for desiring or admiring beauty. That's true. Thanks to wokeness, you can no longer say a person who looks like this is attractive. That is true, you know. The media, the deep state, they all come down on you if you say this, you know. Um, because beauty is rare and exclusionary, and to exclude is to hate, or so we've been told, so we've been scolded to accept by today's diversity, equity, and inclusion fanatics. We aren't supposed to admire diversity, equity, and inclusion is actually when the deep state forces companies to hire flat-chested brunettes. That's why everything has gone to shit. It used to be in the meritocracy, people would just hire big, busty, natural blonde women. But now, you know, it's going crazy over there. It's going wild. We aren't supposed to admire Sweeney's beauty. That's so true. That's so. Uh, Sydney Sweeney was actually told to wear this outfit in a show of modesty. You know, that's how sick the woke are. That they see this outfit, you know, and they don't even understand the way it biologically affects a man because they're that distanced from what humanity is. So they didn't realize this outfit isn't modest. But we've done it anyways. The times they are a changing, aren't they? Nice. Oh, that was all great. I see people talking about this a lot. I really, whatever tiny shred of dignity I have as a YouTuber, I feel like I'm threatening it further by talking about this at all. It's pretty wild. But it's also weirdly honest, too, you know? Because at the end of the day, isn't most right-wing paranoid rambling really just like, where are my big busty blondes with heavy naturals? Except coded? Is that not like the essence of a lot of what we have to deal with day in, day out? Think of all the conversations that I've had or times I've addressed like white nationalist rhetoric. It always comes back to that. Or all the times online where you see like everything being framed around a trad wife, trad husband discourse, or it always comes back to this, you know? Yeah, I don't know. It's pretty wild. Am I brain fucked by porn or are her breasts small? Ariral Adam, I've got really bad news for you, but I'm glad you found this out now and not years in the future, okay? You might be brain fucked by porn. Really sorry. I'm happy that I could help you now. So you're saying Freud was right? Well, the basis of Freudian theory is that big naturals are good, which, you know, he's yet to be contested on that theory, I feel. Freud was right about everything. That's true. Everything that he said. Yeah. Complete endorsement. When I was a kid, I thought all breasts were C cups, no matter how big or small. Yeah. So it's a good rounding average to default to. There's tons and tons of women who have bigger breasts than her. They're just not skinny like her. Okay, yeah, that is true. Pardon me. I hope that this doesn't get interpreted as me being like pig-headed or something. But big tits count more when they're on very skinny people. There are fat people who have big tits. That's probably just like ubiquitous fat distribution. And there are also fat people who have enormous tits who would have enormous tits even if they were skinny. So it's not like a perfect one-to-one thing, but like obviously, yeah, that's a fat distribution thing, you know? Count? Yeah, as big naturals. You know, the vaunted and respected big natural category. The medical term. Anyway, everyone's valid. Vosh, if fascism is male sexual insecurity politicized, why are there fascist women? Well, it's not a 100% thing. You know, there are lots of reasons a person could be a fascist, and a lot of people who are fascists don't even know they're fascists or really know much about fascism. You don't have to know what your belief system is called to have that belief system. However, like, fascism does tend to be a male-driven phenomena. That tends to be the case, like, every time, seriously. From the pundits who push it, to the system they advocate for, a patriarchal one, to, like, any country, any time period. That is, like, definitely the predominant trend, you know? But there are other reasons that you can, you know, get into fascism. I think that in a lot of cases, when women are ideological fascists, this is kind of invalidating, but they shouldn't take issue with my sexism here because of their ideology. I think they're doing the pick-me thing in a lot of cases. I think that it's usually because they're in an environment where they see fascist men and they want to be like the not corrupted by feminism, the not, you know, destroyed by wokeness. You know, they want to be like the good woman. And like, depending on the extent to which they advocate for that, they could be a kind of like passive reflective surface for other men's fascism, or they can themselves be. Of course, at the end of the day, right, like, anybody can believe anything for any reason. I'm only talking about general trends, you know. A woman could just wake up one day, read like a text on fascism and go, yep, sure, why not? And like, that can be it. It's possible. I'm just talking like general trends here. We're just you know, just patterned behavior. Many such cases. So they're bottoms. All fascists are bottoms. What about fascist femboys? I know that you're just trying to bait me and draw out the conversation and waste time, but I'll take the bait for this one specifically. There is a weird, like, overlap with the, like, 4chan fascist femboy category, and I think here we're reaching kind of like the pinnacle of the sexual insecurity as fascist politics thing, because in their case, a lot of them are young, socially anxious, nerdy, homosexual or bisexual men who are, some of them are transgender women, or will be, I guess. A lot of them are maybe would be if they didn't disagree politically with the existence of trans people, so they insist on being femboys rather. So you'll have like right-wing men who wish they were born a girl but don't think that's a thing you can do, so they insist on being femboys, and a lot of their transphobia is just a way of them externalizing that like internal grievance. This is surprisingly common. I don't know why, but it is. Yeah, I don't really know. There's probably also a pretty big overlap between the like political logic of fascism and the psychosexual dynamics of being a femboy in a lot of ways. In that you're talking about like the politicization of masculinity and its relationship to submitting to some kind of broader political force. Like in fascism's case, that would be the state, or maybe like the race or the blood or the Volk or whatever, you know, substitute you want to go for there. But that can be politicized. Like, there are connections here. But the more specific you get with the connections, the more tenuous they get. So past a point, it's really just waffling. Anyway, there are a lot of examples of that kind of person. Guy. So, yeah, you know. Yes, Quishbomb. What do you think of Judith Butler's framing of Hamas as armed resistance? Hamas is objectively armed resistance. That's like a politically neutral term. You can think they're bad, but also know that they're armed resistance. That's true. Okay. No more of that. You horny fucks. What is this? Yeah, I saw. Pro. Okay, who linked this one? This is Freedom News TV again. Come on, guys. I just don't trust anything called Freedom News TV. Pro-Hamas protesters blocking the Biden motorcade because of how much they love Hamas, I assume. Gotta say, they got some pretty prime real estate here. I mean, for the photo op, right? Like, look at that. Goddamn. This is probably like the best possible place you could get a blockade set up in terms of getting a good, you know, good shot. Why do some of their voices sound so impassionate? Because they've been talking for a while. Nice. This is probably inaccurate. I doubt they actually blocked the Biden motorcade. Blocking a presidential motorcade, like actually attempting to block it, seems like the kind of thing that would be met with like, I don't think you could, is the thing. You can't stop a motorcade. Not a presidential one, at least. Yeah, they would bring out the device. So... here we go. See, this is different. Oh, whoops. Protesters blocking at presidential motorcade route. Oh, what the fuck? What did I just click? Where'd you go? There you are. So tired, my, like, mouse hand is shaky. Protesters blocking presidential motorcade route ahead of State of the Union. A group of people blocking the roadway called for a permanent ceasefire in Gaza. Nice. Yeah, blocking the route and blocking the motorcade are two different things. I don't think they're actually going to block the route. Like, they've blocked maybe a route. I don't know. Like, they're not stopping the president. Yes, sorry. They're not stopping Joe Biden.
Free Palestine! Free Palestine! Free Palestine! Free Palestine! Free Palestine! Free Palestine! Free Palestine!
Does that mean they clear up before the motorcade arrives? No, they probably just go a different way. It's the White House. There are tons of ways to get to there. It wouldn't be a very defensible location if the president could only access, or, well, they're going to the Capitol building, but like, it wouldn't be very defensible if they could only access it, you know, from one way or another. It's just not going to meaningfully stop them. If they clear them, they clear them. There are tunnels connecting the White House and Capitol building. So is there not even a plan for a motorcade? Joe Biden is literally, as this protest happens, walking underneath all of these guys. You know, in a unexpected support for Hamas and their tactics. Dark Brandon is moseying on over to the Capitol building, like 200 feet below this protest.
Free
Let us believe in it.
Biden, you can't.
What's your take on the keys to the White House for 2024 as it is correctly predicted the popular vote for the last 40 years? Never ever trust any pollster or any method just because it's correctly predicted a bunch of stuff in the past. There are literally thousands of people trying to make their own models to predict stuff. Statistically speaking, even if they were all completely luck-based with no relationship whatsoever to the actual outcome, dozens or even hundreds of them would end up looking like they're especially prescient. Unfortunately, with stuff like this, you need to... you need to engage more thoroughly with like the logic they're employing, the reliability of that logic. Is it a post hoc justification for previous trends or something that they're actually projecting into the future? You know, there's a lot of stuff that you have to think about.
Biden, you can't hide. We charge you with genocide.
Nice. His staffers are apparently trying really hard to stop Biden from encountering the ceasefire protesters. Yeah, obviously. Because he would challenge them to a fucking push-up contest. Have you seen what Biden does when he's confronted with counter-protesters? He calls them ugly. He would call them ugly and fat. He would try to beat them in a push-up contest, then die instantly the moment the palms of his hands touch the ground. Yeah, they need to keep him away. Away. Do you think Biden can even do a push-up at this point? God, no. God, no. I doubt the average American could do a real push-up. Fucking 80-year-old guy? No. I'm very interested in the State of the Union address. Well, what matters is that they're having fun. I'm glad they're doing it. I mean, yeah, Free Palestine, obviously. I fully support them. Basic ass rhythm. Ah, yeah, sorry. Too many white boys in the audience. Or in the protest, I mean. You know how it is. He won't mention Palestine. He'll mention Palestine in the State of the Union address. If he refuses to mention Palestine in the entire State of the Union address, that would be a bigger news story than anything he said in the State of the Union address, you know? He definitely will. Yeah. Apparently Biden is going to announce some interesting stuff. I don't know whether or not it's really going to happen, so we'll wait and see, okay? I just said wait and see. Good Lord. Right-wingers are jerking off over this trailer, but no leftist other than Hassan has talked about it. Civil War. Oh, the Civil War thing is so boring. I don't care. 10 million views 2 weeks ago. Oh, this is the second official trailer. I see. Okay. I thought that the trailer came out a while ago. I still don't know if you can even show these trailers or like YouTube content ID. I'm not really keen to find out. It's woo, American Civil War. I mean, it speaks to the anxieties of the people, I guess. Yeah, I did, Tempest. Alex Garland is a great director, too. He did Ex Machina. I never saw Ex Machina. Not yet, Benjamin. I opened up your email, saw that it was more than 2 sentences, and saved it for later, which I do for most people who email me. What's the likelihood that we are about to witness a complete failure by Joe? By complete failure, do you mean like his brain shuts down? What do you mean by that? I don't know, 1 in 100? Doesn't seem that likely. It's possible, I guess. There you go, Ben. Mitch McConnell level failure. That would be wild. That'd be pretty bad. You know, we do have time to clear a few more of these links first. Hold on. I'm trying to stay afloat some of the more TikTok-oriented, talking points. So you've heard of Kellogg's, right? That was a stupid opening. Editors, leave it in. You've heard of the concept of cereal, right? A couple days ago, 8 days ago now, the Kellogg CEO said something very wacky, very funny. Here.
The cereal category has always been quite affordable, and it tends to be a great destination when consumers are under pressure. So some of the things that we're doing is first messaging. We got to reach the consumer where they are. So we're advertising about cereal for dinner. If you think about the cost of cereal for a family versus what they might otherwise do, that's going to be much more affordable. The other places that we like to go is we talk about making sure we have the right pack at the right price in the right place. So having a different size pack that'll have a different price point, that'll take some pressure off the consumer while they're shopping. So those are some of the things that we're doing. But in general, the cereal category is a place that a lot of folks might come to because the price of a bowl of cereal with milk and with fruit is less than $1.
This is crazy, right? Like, I don't even need to explain the issue here optically. It seems chat understands. It's very, very funny. You can just imagine while watching this interview, Tempest, don't you tell me what to do. You can imagine while watching this interview, there were a bunch of like PR people who are watching it, like clenching their fists, like shaking.
You can imagine why a consumer under pressure might find that to be a good place to go.
Right. I'm all for innovation and marketing, but the idea of having cereal for dinner, is there the potential for that to land the wrong way?
Literally, even the correspondent here is like, haha, wow, that was an argument. Don't you feel it might be a bit optically bad to say that people, like, we're helping poor, like, people who are struggling with inflation by selling them smaller packages of cereal and also they can just eat it for dinner? Doesn't that look a little bad? Is this not kind of like a let them eat cake kind of deal, Mr. Multimillionaire Kellogg CEO of an evil company, Kellogg's? A little bit evil?
We don't think so. In fact, it's landing really well right now, Carl.
Nah, people love it.
When we look at all of our data, of course, we would know that breakfast cereal is the #1 choice for in-home consumption. We understand that for breakfast. It turns out that over 25% of our consumption is outside the breakfast occasion. A lot of it's at dinner, and that occasion continues to grow.
It's a lovely reminder of the like innate inhumanity of wealthy corporate types, the way he's talking. Outside the breakfast occasion, like I know, because the way he talks about this, he's listening to like marketing guys and like analysts and stuff. Just no ability to communicate that information in a way that resonates with people, as evidenced by the fact that people are really mad about this.
As well as a snacking occasion, but cereal for dinner is something that is probably more on trend now, and we would expect to continue as that consumer is under pressure.
That's great. I love that. This kicked off a surprising amount of hate and discourse, by the way, which it absolutely deserves to. First of all, I should note, cereal, not only should you not have cereal for dinner, you just shouldn't eat cereal. Cereal offers basically nothing to your body. It is like the most... it depends on the cereal to an extent, but even if you're leaving aside like the sugar or whatever, like even if we're just talking about regular oats or some whatever, it is like a very... bleh carb blob. It health wise it's not great, and it's also not great expense wise. I'm poor, Vosh. That's great. Stop buying cereal. I've been to grocery stores at least once in my life. Cereal is not really cheap. Like, if you want to compare that to other base carbohydrates that you could use for like a pick-me-up, any base food item, rice or potatoes, which by the way can be incorporated into far more meals than fucking cereal. Like, Jesus, cereal. Wait, Vosh, is cereal not supplemented with vitamins and other nutrients in the U.S.? Cereal is part of a balanced breakfast when you include this grapefruit, this orange juice, and these eggs. Yeah. No. Yeah. Cereal's not good for you. And it's expensive. Seriously. Look at cereal, like just whatever cereal you eat, okay, and compare its price by the total caloric content or weight of what you're looking at. It is, yeah, it's not good. You know, there are some like bulk cereal brands that you can get that are pretty good, like meal wise, but those ones aren't from Kellogg's. Those are like generic bulk packaged ones, and they tend not to be that tasty. Though I do remember that for a while, one of my favorite dessert meals would be a bunch of almond fleck crusted O's. I don't remember what the name of the brand was, but they were like O's, like the little O things. But they had some almonds on them, and I would add to that a little bit of honey and a little bit of peanut butter that I had melted in like a little ramekin, and put that together and mix it. And it was actually really good. It was basically like a warm, kind of like tasty snack bar, but in cereal spoon form. It was really, really tasty. Not amazing health-wise, but I was eating it as a dessert, so, you know, what are you going to do? Anyway, so terrible messaging. You know, you hate to see a super wealthy CEO. Oh, look, there's the Young Turks covering it. Nice. You hate to see a super wealthy CEO talking this way. Look, even the fucking description. Gary Pilnick, the multi-millionaire chief executive officer of Kellogg's, suggested on CNBC that families with strained finances could cope by eating, quote, cereal for dinner. And I feel like this is actually a fairly negative and narrativized summary down here. You know, like the person who wrote this didn't like Gary Pilnick, is what I'm saying. This was not written in a perfectly neutral environment. So anyway, this actually did lead to a lot of backlash, most of which it seems is on TikTok. I even found Breitbart articles talking about it, like multiple ones. So this, for once, this is like a blowback that is kind of like evenly spread out across the political spectrum, which is lovely. Was the TYT headline unbiased? CEO, poor people should eat our cereal for dinner. Actually, weirdly, I think this TYT video headline is less narrativized than the description down here. The use of the word cope is really heavily weighted. Also, multi-millionaire CEO of Kellogg's, rather than just CEO, it kind of like reinforces the distinction. I don't know. Wacky stuff, that. So I wanted to take a look at the TikTok videos that I saw trending on the subject. Look at me. I'm so with it. I'm so hip. I'm with it, and I'm hip, and I'm with it. What do you think about oatmeal? I don't like oatmeal personally, but isn't it supposed to be pretty good for you? Like if you have some oatmeal and some like berries and stuff, or like oatmeal tends to go along with pretty filling and healthy foods, you know? I like yogurt a lot. I love Greek yogurt. There are some brands of Greek yogurt that I love it so much. Unfortunately, like it tends to be pretty expensive if you're going for any kind of flavored Greek yogurt, because it comes in like the little mini packs, you know, and that anytime you're getting anything in a mini pack, it's going to be too expensive. But I just really like it. Nice breakfast. By the way, I recommend, generally speaking, just don't have breakfast or have a very minimal one. Having a big breakfast really slows you down for a good portion of your day. Digesting takes energy from your body. The fastest way to go from eating food to getting energy is sugar or carbohydrates, because sugar is carbohydrate. So that's the reason why the kinds of like athletic foods that you get, the protein bars or like the granola bars or whatever, those are like a burst of carbohydrates and some sugar, and that tends to pick you up a little bit. But you don't want something super heavy, because that'll weigh you down. Literally, it will weigh your stomach down. It'll feel like heavy. You'll feel bloated. It's very annoying. Just a little breakfast. Some yogurt, you know? Oats, yes. Instant oats, no. Oh, I'm not recommending instant oats. I've never even eaten them, but they do not look good. I enjoy a granola bar or some piece of fruit vache. Fruits are also carbohydrates, largely. I mean, obviously, it's a balance, but, you know. Carbs in the morning make your hormones imbalanced throughout the day, though? I don't know about that. Only have a little bit. So do you recommend brunch and dinner? No, you can. I'm just saying, don't have like a big breakfast. I mean, like you can skip breakfast, you can have a small breakfast. I'm just saying, generally speaking, the obsession that Americans and British people have with like, oh, breakfast time. Here's time for like 4 sausage links, a bunch of bacon, some eggs, some like pancakes. What like, whew, you know? Oh, it's not just a health thing. It'll just make you tired all day. You ever wonder, you notice about 50% of you guys are tired all the time. There's a bunch of reasons that is, and there are a bunch of reasons why I'm tired all the time. But one of the reasons why I'm tired all the time isn't because I have a bad breakfast that slows me down for the rest of the day. That is one area where I've got my shit on lock, okay? I've got, in that specific respect, I'm here and I'm queer. I love dick. Anyway, I don't know what the fuck we're waffling about, but the State of the Union's in 15 minutes, and I'm not done making my point, okay?
In response to inflation. Kellogg's faces boycott after CEO
What's up, dude? I've
pushes
seen this
cereal
guy
for
before.
dinner in response to inflation. Here's what he said.
So we're advertising about cereal for dinner. If you think about the cost
I
of
remember this.
cereal.
You should have maybe once or twice a month. Actually advertising this for children to have this for breakfast each and every day is on the borderline of being criminal, considering there's so much sugar and this is such processed food. And then when inflation and groceries are so high that the average American family is struggling to buy eggs and meat and fish and vegetables and Whole Foods, the CEO of Kellogg
The auto caption capitalized Whole Foods. I would say the average American probably is struggling to eat from, like, buy stuff from Whole Foods because they overprice the fuck out of their stuff there. You know what's always been really funny to me? I hate Whole Foods because I hate its dipshit former owner. I hate its overpriced hippie bullshit. And then it got fucking bought by Amazon. And now you can get the previously overpriced Whole Foods stuff competitively priced right alongside Amazon stuff from Amazon. So you can literally get the same Whole Foods bullshit, like normal price on Amazon or double price in a Whole Foods. And white people still buy there. It's insane.
Foods, the CEO of Kellogg's goes, you know what would be a great idea how we can be helpful and generate more profits? Let's offer $6 processed sugary food for dinner. And I'm so happy that we're calling people out. This is why corporations and politicians don't like us on these asks, because look at the power that we have when we come together. Now, I know this is insignificant.
I don't like language like this for what it's worth.
It's just cereal.
Like,
but
I promise you, big corporations like the fact that everyone is a social media addict. I promise you, this fits very, very effectively into their sort of like monetization models.
look what we can accomplish if we work together. We're the ones that have the power to shape our lives.
But it's like inspo stuff. Okay, I'm not trying to be too crabby. I am going to be crabby about this next video because after the Starbucks fiasco, I'm getting really tired of Gen Z TikTokers immediately declaring any not bankruptcy, fucking boycott as a victory.
Breaking news, the Kellogg's boycott is working as the food and beverage company is having to slash prices due to lack of sales.
That is not true. This boycott apparently started like 5 days ago, and that March 6th was the date listed right there. So, like, breaking news, Kellogg's has cut the price of this one store that overstocked on their cereal to 99 cents. That's what Kellogg's does, by the way. It sets the price on sales at individual locations. TikTok is the biggest hotbed of disinfo I've ever seen. Oh, it's so bad here. It's so bad here. But I'm just going to be like a grumpy grouch if I do anything like meaningful with engagement here, because like it's literally a bunch of over-earnest 17-year-old Zoomers or Gen Alpha types zipping around making ridiculous claims, and you're like a counter-revolutionary if you disagree. It's just nothing works that fast.
Let me tell y'all something. I cannot remember the last time I saw name brand cereal be 99 cents. I don't even know if I've ever seen it for 99 cents.
It happens. If a store overstocks and they get more of that product, they put it on sale. Or if they've held on to it for too long. It's usually how sales work. It's if they need to clear space.
As these people are pointing
Like,
out,
basically every grocery store will have somewhere in the back a shelf with discounted stuff, and it's literally just like they only had one or two of these items left, and they didn't want to just have them taking up room in the main shelves. They put them back there and slap the price in half or something. It's clearance shelves. It's really, really common.
in the comment section, their products could have been cheaper all along if it weren't for corporate greed. Because when does it ever?
No, that's not the case. Often when products are sold on clearance or on sale, the company selling them is actually not making a profit. In this case, Kellogg's, the company that makes the cereal, already made their money because Kellogg's doesn't run the grocery store. Kellogg's sells their merchandise to grocers, and they sell it, but Kellogg's already sold their product. But when stores put stuff on clearance or discount or sale, they often aren't making money on those sales. They're just trying to lose less money.
Ever make sense to pay more than $5 or $6 for a box of cereal? To give a brief overview as to how the boycott even started in the first place, it all began when Kellogg's dropped this commercial back in summer 2022.
Oh, this was a year ago. This is a different thing. Oh, so is this person saying that a year ago was when the boycott started?
Tony the Tiger promoting having cereal for dinner.
When I say cereal, you say dinner. Cereal. Dinner. Cereal. Dinner.
Now, this ad did rub
Dinner.
some people the wrong way because not only is it giving capitalism, but why would you
They are a company selling products. That is true.
promote having cereal for dinner when cereal nowadays ain't nothing but a box of sugar with very little nutritional value, and Kellogg's brand cereals are no different? And then the point was further driven home by
This is the case for all food products. That gets, not all food products, but like a lot of food products are sold just because they want you to buy more of their products. I don't think these two things are necessarily connected.
the Kellogg CEO, whose response to rising food prices a few weeks ago was to have cereal for dinner instead, as it is a more affordable option. This message was not well received, especially after people noticed that the snack and food company had raised their prices within recent years, which then ignited the boycott that was arranged and organized by this TikTok user, Tall Girl. I'll put her information somewhere on the screen. To my knowledge, the boycott is supposed to run from April 1st to June 30th, but honestly, you boycott as long as you need to get the
Wait, the boycott has already led them to slash prices, but it starts April 1st to June. I wish I could go back in time and, like, find whoever invented the word boycott and just, like, find them as, like, an infant, you know? And just, like, hurl them off a cliff. I hate boycott discourse so much. It doesn't do anything. It doesn't do anything. Oh my god. It doesn't do anything. Holy shit. It doesn't do anything. It's just a thing for people to obsess over. But people start early. Nobody's boycotting Kellogg's over this. I mean, maybe some people are. It's a reference to Captain Boycott, who was starving Irish peasants? What? Captain Charles Cunningham Boycott, who's an English land agent whose ostracism by his local community gave the English language the term boycott. Okay. Literally John Boycott. Actually, genuinely John Boycott. Yeah, I wish I could go back in time. Look at this idiot with his big head. Fucking idiot. Fucking John Boycott with his giant, stupid, fucking GoldenEye 64 big heads cheat. Good lord. We gotta finish this up.
results that you want, but that's just me. And as the boycott gains traction, the stock price is steadily going down.
No, that's not, no, stop. That's not how it works. Oh my god. No, constant fluctuations are, what? No, whatever. Should I just give up on this and just anytime people on the left, like especially young, earnest, idealistic people say like, yeah, we boycotted X company, and like now their stock price did this, and they zoom in on like a 3-hour period where 0.001 cent of the stock was lost or something. Should I just go like, yeah, we're doing it. Should I just give in to the mob? Like, should I just like accept? Should I just embrace it and forget, like, and not even bother anymore? It's so much.
Steadily going down. Many are choosing to buy store brand alternatives instead, but I will say this. For my Walmart shoppers in particular, they use Kellogg's to make some of their great value brand cereals, so you might want to
Yeah,
be...
you're not avoiding Kellogg's. I'm sorry. They're pretty well integrated. Oh, fuck. We got 5 minutes. Here's the original video.
CEO came out and said, like, oh, you know what, you guys are broke? Eat Frosted Flakes for dinner. That'll solve it all. After having the audacity to, explain that they've raised the price of all their products by 28% over the past few years because they could. They just want more profits. So my crazy ass idea was for 2 months, we protest these corporations. Because there's really only 10 companies that fucking own it all. And we start with Kellogg. Why? Because you were the most recent dick, so congratulations, you get chosen first. And because the internet is our friend, here's a breakdown. But there's also a guy here on TikTok.
Yeah, man, people are really looking at all these and memorizing every... The problem that I have with this is it's such an incredible misunderstanding of anti-corporate activism and critical theory. The idea of like, oh, these corporations basically own everything, so time to boycott them. That's just not how it works, you know? It's liberal. It's liberal, yes. This is fundamentally like the most liberal attitude you could ever take towards corporate monopoly, which is voting with your wallet, except it's being endorsed by people who in a lot of cases like think Stalin did nothing wrong. It's very strange. Do you have any links to reading on stuff that actually works? It's a complicated subject, and I'm not saying that any path is easy, but this is a particularly bad one. This kind of like liberal individualist vote with your wallet attitude, typically speaking, doesn't work that well. And that's one of the reasons why corporations don't tend to fear it.
Mustache, dark hair, who breaks down the grocery aisles, he has a spreadsheet of everything. We start this April 1st.
What about BDS? BDS isn't just a boycott. It is a broader political movement of which boycotting is a portion. Even then, it should be noted, BDS, Israel's still there. BDS is been successful largely in attracting some very mask-off reprisal from Zionist organizations, like banning BDS at the state level or like making politicians angry. And that is a kind of accomplishment, but it's not just boycotting. It's part of a broader movement, you know?
April Fool's Day into fuck you Fool's Day. We're no longer...
What does BDS stand for? Big Dick Synergy.
Bullshit. Now, a couple rules. This is only for the people who currently give Kellogg's their money. If you're buying generic, this isn't for you. This is on the backs of the people who can currently afford to support corporations like Kellogg's. But I love my Eggos. Okay. But for 3 months, to teach them a lesson that our demand is, you raised your prices by 28%, lower them by 25%, or we'll keep going. For 3 months, you don't buy Eggos, you buy the store brand. There are people here on
All right, well, we'll see how it pans out. Wait, is this even being done in response to the CEO's comments? This is from the 28th. This is a leap year, so... Wait, what day did the CEO make that comment? 8 days ago. But it's the 7th. So this TikTok video came out the day before that video from The Guardian came out. Is this just a coincidence? Maybe? Maybe another source posted that video earlier and she's responding to it from a different source? Maybe. Not really relevant, I guess.
TikTok who do food reviews all the cheese.
2 minutes, god damn it.
You'd have jacked up your prices the way you did, except doing this to us. 3 months. No stocking up. No. You do not buy all your Cheez-Its the last day of March and then on April 1st be like, I'm part of the fight. No.
Thankfully, I get all of my desserty snacks from a ethical company, Nestle. Seriously, though, what Kellogg's... I don't want, like, the inane liberal nonsense from TikTokers to be the main point of this. What the Kellogg CEO said was disgusting and totally out of touch, and it's a reminder once more that people who have the most power in our society know the least about what people want or need, and they certainly care the least. It's just weird shit all the way up to the top, you know? It's not like a conspiracy, it's just having a lot of money and being placed in a position of a lot of power with very little oversight just makes you a weird fuck. I admire people's, I guess, like, tendency to leap at any opportunity to demonstrate that they don't like this kind of stuff, but I also feel like a lot of this stuff tends to be done as a virtue signal, which is one of the reasons why it never fucking works. Do you have any idea how many TikTok boycotts there have been that haven't led to anything, and therefore nobody talks about it? You know? What does liberal even mean at this point? The ideal of boycotts being liberal is like a hardline Enlightenment era, very incredibly direct, obvious expression of liberal ideology. Starbucks? Yeah, the Starbucks thing hasn't done shit. Okay, time to start. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
Thursday, President Biden delivers...
Shut up.
State of the
Oh, wait, sorry. This is the unlisted... God damn it, C-SPAN. What am I supposed to do with myself while sitting through all of this? Fucking... I can't fast forward through it. I can't skip. Should I draw? I can't draw while streaming. I don't have the... attention. I'm not playing games. Loud? It's not that loud. Shut up. There. Rate the suits? There, I quieted it down. Rep Troy Nels from Texas. Looking good. Avant-garde, business casual. Love that for him.
I love you. I love you. Amazing. Amazing.
I feel like if there were, if men complimented each other just for a day, the way women compliment each other, they would keep that with them their entire lives. Like, if just for one day, if a guy could experience that, they would just remember that forever. We told George Santos these pants work. Oh, you're saying you don't like his skinny boot fit? The obsession with skinny fit pants strikes yet again. The funny thing is, these are actually quite well tailored considering his proportions. It just looks ridiculous. He looks like a fucking Dr. Seuss creature. He looks like Gru. He's a rotund gentleman, and I love it for. I'm not attacking him for being rotund. It's just the fucking the pants. How does Santos get an invite? Oh, that's a nice suit. Well, I imagine that just Santos has a right to be there, even if he, left. What are you doing? Why are you doing that? Is that a hickey? Montiu. It's not a hickey. Is the State of the Union copyright? No, the State of the Union is not copyright. I have logical pretzels. The Dems are wearing white for reproductive rights, apparently. Great, so their suits are going to look like even more trash than usual because they've had to go rush out to buy white suits, and they don't even have the benefit of the tailoring that they have for their non-white suits, which is normally already pretty bad. What the fuck? Yeah, Crypt Keeper shit. Also collar gap. Massive collar gap. Ted! What do you... Oh. Ben Shapiro. Mike Johnson is trying to rizz up Kamala. Do you think it's working? Oh, I know what I can do. I've got a fucking Tinder match I can mess you back. I'm so done. Oh, wasn't I gonna get a drink? Wait, hold on a second. Yo, Kanye, are you watching? Kanye, are you watching? Fuck you, one dickhead. Hey, do you think you could mix me a drink? We got that lemonade, the spiked lemonade. Or maybe, could you, like, polish off the margarita mix? Put a bit more vodka in there and some of that black cherry simple syrup? Would that be cool? Like a big glass of it. Like, you can fuck me up. I'll try to moderate my consumption of the drink. I'll figure something out. Thank you. You can use gin instead of vodka if you want to keep more of the vodka for yourself. Hey! How you doing, man? Man, you're old. Ah, okay. Old, but still full of love for life. Look at that. Stop the Biden border crisis. The only border I'm concerned with is that god-awful fucking lapel, or lack thereof, on that awful jacket. Okay? Because the border between her jacket and her shirt looked like shit. Look at how low the armhole is on this guy's suit. Look at how awkward he looked. Oh, fucking leather jacket? Hell yes. That's what we need to see more of. A happy middle ground. What is that? Oh shit, we're mixing here? Okay, cool, cool. Yeah. Here, thank you. Here, alright. Okay. Mic cam? Oh yeah, whoops. There we go. Wait. There we go. Okay. Or I guess I'll leave me just in the little camera. Thank you. Okay. Mixer. Ice. Spike lemonade. That was a little bit too much, probably. Okay. Vodka. I feel like this doesn't have enough citric acid in it. I should have also asked for some lemon drop. And because I am a baby, black cherry simple syrup. Lemon drop, thank you. I'm done here, by the way. If you want to take this down, because I'm not going to make a second drink. I won't need to. I'm sure you won't have to bring it back up. If I have a second one of these, it'll kill me. Thank you very much. A little bit too much. A little bit too much fluid. All right. For this? Nah, that's okay. Well, wait, actually... Yeah, leave that here. Tahini. Calabash belt. I got one
Mr.
drop on my leg.
Speaker, the
Whoa.
President's Cabinet.
Scary face. They're walking in at 9/11. What does it mean? You know what it means. He's disrespecting our troops. Okay. I can't really put tahini around the rim of the cocktail, and it's also not a margarita, but I'm thinking I can just put it in the spoon and then just have tahini when I want it. Which is always. Eat a spoonful? Yeah, one spoonful at a time. I just, you know. You're very quiet. I'm too quiet, I'm too loud. You people are never happy. How do they fit all of these people in a cabinet? It's Narnia shit. The video is just loud. Okay. There might be an issue with my OBS then, because I'm showing the video much less loud than me. But whatever. It's because the crowd is loud. I love the game so much. I'm putting that shit on a spoon like a goddamn heroin addict. Put it in my veins. Alright. Yeah, I know that guy. Whoa! Is it just me, or is Pete looking a little more handsome now than he was 3 years ago? Did anyone else see that a little bit? Just a little more? I mean, he's a young guy, you know, he's got time to, yeah, mature a little bit. Yeah, he looked a little bit less rat-like. Mic sounds off too. What do you mean off? The chemicals from East Palestine got to him. Like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle shit. What do you call that cocktail you created? 350 calories, I'd reckon. Oh, yeah. This is a high alcohol percentage drink. I feel hotter already. Dana, shut the fuck up. I'm not up on the lore. Is Vosh a lightweight? I'm probably a lighter weight than anyone you know in real life. Me too, Tempest. This is gonna fucking suck. I like that shade of green. What would you call it? Sage? Not mint. It's not mint. Mint would be lighter. I think that's sage. Seafoam, pistachio. Could be pistachio. Why do you think you're such a lightweight for being a big guy? Because I developed alcohol intolerance in college after drinking too much, and after that, I couldn't drink any alcohol at all without getting sick, and now I can have a little bit. That can happen? Yep. I don't like your facial expression, lady. Okay, now you're fine. What do you think of Fear of God clothes? Fear of God Essentials or Fear of God Regular? Because I can't afford Fear of God Regular. They're not recorded ahead of time, Pave, but one of the people in the administrative state isn't here. In case everybody here gets nuked, somebody in the presidential cabinet is in a secure location elsewhere. I don't know who. I don't care to find out. Yeah, the designated survivor. That's alive for TV? I'm pretty sure that's real. It's just a basic security thing. You need to have somebody in the presidential line of succession. I wish there was salt mixed in with this tahini. Tanya, that wasn't an invitation to come up to it. You've been nice already.
Joe!
Woo!
Mr. Speaker, the President of the United States.
The way this is shot makes it seem like it's an Office bit, you know? This right here with the wavy camera and like the pan back while he walks through the crowd, it really makes it feel like an Office bit. Oh, what's going on over there? We shaking hands? I don't know if they shook hands. Canoe? I don't think that's the right kind of salt. Wait, actually. Hold on. Guys, I've got it. To mix salt with my tahini, my $100 Philippine volcanic coconut salt egg, and a little cheese grater. Now, I can't grate this into a spoon, but if I could... Okay. So this is special Philippine coconut volcanic salt. So let's see how this mixes. Oh, look, I got ash on my hands now. From the pottery.
Look over here, Mr. President. Mr. President.
Good to see you, Mr. President.
Fuck, that's good.
This is about you.
Gotta wash my hand though. Okay. Okay. I've got my tajin, I've got my drink, I've got my coconut ash volcano Philippines salt. Missed MTG? No, I don't miss her actually. Dog, they're gonna smother Joe Biden before he even gets the fucking stage. Like, holy shit. He's 5,000 years old, and so many people are... He took the button. You hand something to Joe, he's just gonna take it. He doesn't know what's going on. If you walked up to him and handed him like a plushie, you could hand him like a what's that plushie from Deltarune? The guy with the pointy nose who's all about sales? That guy? Spamton. You could hand him a fucking Spamton plushie, and he would just hold it with him for the rest of the night, you know? Posing for the selfie, that's nice. Blocking the president, too, holding the phone in front of his path. Why does everyone need selfies with Joe? Oh, like you wouldn't. Huh. Is Joe wearing a black suit? Dark Navy? No. I thought it was Dark Navy, but I think that's black. This might be a serious State of the Union address. I could be reading too much into it, but, like, wearing black signals higher formality. Usually an indication of, like... Yeah, that is a black suit. President historically wears black? No, but President wears navy all the time. You know? Maybe I'm misremembering. Maybe they wear black all the time for the State of the Union. No, you're right. You're right. I'm wrong. There are a lot of photos of Obama wearing a black suit for State of the Union as well. I'm reading too much into it. It is because it's a higher level of formality, but it's not special for this time. Just not something I would have noticed before, but am now. Neat. I'm worried right now. Oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. Hassan's gonna instantly recognize the sound of a J-Dam because he's crouched outside the Capitol building waiting for the Israeli jets to make their way over. Brett Kavanaugh's face is so red he's drunk. Hey, let's get drunk with him. You know, I'm not as drunk as I thought I'd be. I'm already like halfway through the drink. Fuck. Hope I don't have to ask Connie to come back up. Fuck, that's good. He's really never making it up there, man. Listen, Melopsy. Okay, it's like this edible ain't shit, alright? I'll be drunk soon, don't worry about it. What would you wear to the State of the Union? I would wear, like, an American flag patterned three-piece suit. But I would wear it in, like, a fashion couture fit, so it's pinstriped along with the bars of the flag, and it would be oversized, so it would hang off my shoulders like a cape midway to my knees. You know? Like I would look like one of those anemic fashion models, the ladies who are 6'3" and are wearing jackets that fit on their shoulders like a cape. Already done. Whoa. Everything's got a goddamn pop-up. Making me nervous.
Tony.
I wear the Matt Lesko suit. Looks like shit. Tony! Tony!
Thank you. Here's a drill.
Why does Elizabeth always wear purple?
Good evening.
She's an anime character. Just color coordination. Alright, I'm turning it up.
Good evening.
The bad
If I
evening.
were smart, I'd go home now.
What? That was
Mr. Speaker.
That was
Madam
C-SPAN.
Vice President, members of Congress, 1941, Franklin Roosevelt came to this chamber to speak to the nation, and he said, I address you at a moment unprecedented in the history of the Union. Hitler was on the march. War was raging in Europe. President Roosevelt's purpose was to wake up Congress and alert the American people that this was no ordinary time. Freedom and democracy were under assault in the world. Tonight, I come to this same chamber
What is
to
happening?
address the nation. Now, it's we who face an unprecedented moment in the history of the Union. And yes, my purpose tonight is to wake up the Congress and alert the American people that this is no ordinary moment either.
To the Nazis.
Not since President Lincoln and the Civil War have freedom and democracy been under assault at home as they are today. What makes our moment rare is that freedom and democracy
From
are under
Hamas.
attack both at home and overseas at the very same time. Overseas, Putin of Russia is on the march, invading Ukraine and sowing chaos throughout Europe and beyond. If anybody in this room thinks Putin will stop at Ukraine, I assure you he will not. But Ukraine can stop Putin. Ukraine can stop Putin if we stand with Ukraine and provide the weapons that needs to defend itself.
Odd subject to open with.
That is all. That is all Ukraine is asking. They're not asking for American soldiers. In fact, there are no American soldiers at war in Ukraine, and I'm determined to keep it that way. But now,
Is that because of the recent leaks?
assistance to Ukraine is being blocked by those who want to walk away from our world leadership. It wasn't long ago when a Republican president named Ronald Reagan thundered, Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall. Now my predecessor, a former Republican president, tells Putin, quote, "Do whatever the hell you want." That's a quote. A former president actually said that, bowing down to a Russian leader. I think it's outrageous, it's dangerous, and it's unacceptable.
Yeah, pretty aggressive opening. Odd topic. Oh, whatever. Oh, yeah, sure. Why not?
America is a founding member of NATO, the military alliance of democratic nations, created after World War II to prevent war and keep the peace. And today, we've made NATO stronger than ever. We welcomed Finland to the alliance last year. And just this morning, Sweden officially joined, and their minister is here tonight.
Woo!
Stand up.
Oh, he looks European, too. God willing, it'll be Russia next. Join us, Russia.
Welcome, welcome.
They're about as democratic as Turkey.
And they know how to fight. Mr. Prime Minister, welcome to NATO, the strongest military alliance the world has ever seen.
That is true.
I say this to Congress, we have to stand up to Putin. Send me a bipartisan national security bill. History is literally watching. History is watching. If the United States walks away,
he's watched
it will
Hamilton.
put Ukraine at risk. Europe is at risk. The free world will be at risk, emboldening others to do what they wish to do us harm. My message to President Putin, who I've known for a long time, is simple. We will not walk away.
Sagar's mauling that Biden's not starting with the USA. It is odd to open with
will not bow down.
Ukraine and NATO. It's unusual. But whatever.
I will not bow down.
I hate America, too. Pelosi looking psychotic as always.
In a literal sense, history is watching. History is watching. Just like history watched 3 years ago on January 6th. When insurrectionists stormed this very Capitol and placed a dagger to the throat of American democracy. Many of you are here on that darkest of days. We all saw with our own eyes the insurrectionists were not patriots. They'd come to stop the peaceful transfer of power, to overturn the will of the people. January 6th lies about the 2020 election and the plots to steal the election posed a gravest threat to U.S. democracy since the Civil War. But they failed. America stood.
Why are the Republicans not booing? They have to pick and choose their
America
boos.
stood strong, and democracy prevailed. We must be honest. The threat to democracy must be defended. My predecessor and some of you here seek to bury the truth about January 6th. I will not do that. This is the moment to speak the truth and to bury the lies. Here's the simple truth. You can't love your country only when you win.
Solid line. He's trying to phrase stuff in a way that prevents the Republicans from out-booing the cheers. Oh, yeah, I'm drunk now. There it is. Oh, yeah.
As I've done ever since being elected to office, I ask all of you, without regard to party, to join together and defend democracy. Remember your oath of office is defending against all threats, foreign and domestic. Respect free and fair elections. Restore trust in our institutions. And make clear political violence has absolutely no place in America, zero place.
Stand up. Everyone has to stand every time.
It's not hyperbole to suggest history is watching. We're watching. Your children and grandchildren will read about this day and what we do. History is watching another assault on freedom. Joining us tonight is Latoya Beasley, a social worker from Birmingham, Alabama. 14 months ago, she and her husband welcomed a baby girl thanks to the miracle of IVF. She scheduled treatments to have that second child.
Ooh, they
The
factored
Alabama
this in
Supreme
quick.
Court shut down IVF treatments across the state, unleashed by a Supreme Court decision overturning Roe v. Wade. She was told her dream would have to wait. What her family had got through should never have happened. Unless Congress acts, it could happen again. So tonight, let's stand up for families like hers. To my friends across the aisle, don't keep this waiting any longer. Guarantee the right to AVF. Guarantee it nationwide.
How come he suddenly has so much more energy? Child sacrifice. They tend to do this before State of the Union addresses. It's normal.
Like most Americans, I believe Roe v. Wade got it right. I thank Vice President Harris for being an incredible leader defending reproductive freedom.
Roe v. Wade.
Thank you. My predecessor came to office determined to see Roe v. Wade overturned. He's the reason it was overturned, and he brags about it. Look at the chaos.
Can't boo
that has
this.
resulted. Joining us tonight is Kate Cox, the wife and mother from Dallas. She's become pregnant again and had a fetus of a fatal condition. Her doctor told Kate that her own life and her ability to have children in the future were at risk if she didn't act. Because Texas law banned her ability to act, Kate and her husband had to leave the state to get what she needed.
You said it.
What her family got through should have never happened as well, but it's happening in too many others. There are state laws banning the freedom to choose, criminalizing doctors, forcing survivors of rape and incest to leave their states to get the treatment they need. Many of you in this chamber and my predecessor are promising to pass a national ban on reproductive freedom. My God, what freedom else would you take away? Look, it's a decision to overturn Roe v. Wade. The Supreme Court majority wrote the following, and with all due respect, justices, women are not without electoral power. Electoral or political power. You're about to realize just how much you're right about that.
Okay, we're doing like 14 misspeaks a minute here. The structure of the speech has been pretty good. Surprisingly aggressive.
Clearly, those bragging about overturning Roe v. Wade have no clue about the power of women. But they found out when reproductive freedom was on the ballot. We won in 2022 and 2020, and we'll win again in 2024.
Pretty aggressive. He's being pretty aggro. More than last time, that's for fucking sure. Hell yeah.
If you, the American people, send me a Congress that supports the right to choose, I promise you, I'll restore Roe v. Wade as the law of the land again.
You're not on the Supreme Court. You have to pass federal legislation, but that's more the legislature. You can't do that.
America cannot go back. I'm here tonight to show what I believe is the way forward, because I know how far we come. 4 years ago next week, before I came to office, the country was hit by the worst pandemic and the worst economic crisis in a century. Remember the fear, record losses. Remember the spikes in crime.
I mentioned the Congress. Oh, sorry. I must have misheard him.
Virus that took more than 1 million American lives, of loved ones, millions left behind. A mental health crisis of isolation and loneliness. A president, my predecessor, failed the most basic presidential duty that he owes to American people, the duty to care. I think that's unforgivable.
What?
I came to office determined to get us through one of the toughest periods in the nation's history. We have. It doesn't make news in 1,000 cities and towns. The American people are writing the greatest comeback story never told.
I'm surprised there weren't more boos there. That was an easy time for them to boo. They didn't boo.
So let's tell the story here. Tell it here and now. America's comeback is building the future of American possibilities, building an economy from the middle out and the bottom up, not the top down. Investing in all America, in all Americans, to make sure everyone has a fair shot We leave no one behind. The pandemic no longer controls our lives. The vaccine that saved us from COVID
True. Pandemic's over.
are
COVID's
now
gone.
being used to beat cancer, turning setback into comeback. That's what America does. That's what America does.
Are people giving me shit about the salt? Do you think I give a fuck? Do you think you don't do this too? Do you think I don't know that you do this? Do you think I don't watch you doing this in your own home? Shut the fuck up.
My inherited economy is on the brink. Now our economy is literally the envy of the world. 15 million new jobs in just 3 years. A record. A record. Unemployment at 50-year lows. A record 16 million Americans are starting small businesses, and each one is a literal act of hope. With historic job growth and small business growth for Black and Hispanics and Asian Americans, 800,000 new manufacturing jobs.
What
in
about
America
white people,
and counting.
Joe?
Where is it written we can't be the manufacturing capital of the world? We are, we will. More people have health insurance today. More people have health insurance today than ever before. The racial wealth gap is as small as it's been in 20 years. Wages keep going up. Inflation keeps coming down. Inflation has dropped from 9% to 3%, the lowest in the world, and tending lower.
Lowest in the world? That seems unlikely. Check the stats. Southeast Asia.
The landing is and will be soft.
Deflation.
And now, instead of importing foreign products and exporting American jobs,
America is the world.
we're exporting American products and creating American jobs. Right here in America, where they belong. And it takes time, but the American people are beginning to feel it. Consumer studies show consumer confidence is soaring. Buy America has been the law of the land since the 1930s. Past administrations, including my predecessor, including some Democrats as well in the past, failed to buy American. Not anymore. On my watch, federal projects that you fund, like helping build American roads, bridges, and highways, will be made with American products and built by American workers.
Hard to boo talking points like these.
Creating good-paying American jobs. And thanks to our CHIPS and Science Act, the United States is investing more in research and development than ever before. During the pandemic, a shortage of semiconductors, chips, that drove up the price of everything from cell phones to automobiles. And by the way, we invented those chips right here in America. Well, instead of having to import them, private companies are now investing billions of dollars to build new chip factories here in America, creating tens of thousands of jobs. Many of those jobs paying $100,000 a year and don't require a college degree.
No longer will we import our tortilla chips from Mexico. We will make them ourselves. But only flour tortilla chips.
My policies have attracted $650 billion in private sector investment in clean energy, advanced manufacturing, creating tens of thousands of jobs here in America.
Do you not like Fritos? I would fuck a Frito if I could. I love them so much.
And thanks to our bipartisan infrastructure law,
Give them a little kiss.
46,000 new projects have been announced all across your communities. And by the way, I noticed some of you strongly voted against it, or they're cheering on that money coming in. I like it.
I take back what I said about Pete.
I'm with you. If any of you don't want that money in your district, just let me know. Modernizing our roads and bridges, ports and airports, public transit systems. Removing poisonous lead pipes so every child can drink clean water without risk of brain damage. Providing affordable high-speed internet for every American, no matter where you live, urban, suburban, or rural communities, in red states and blue states. Record investments in tribal communities. Because of my investment in a family farm, because I invested in family farms led by my Secretary of Agriculture, who knows more about this than anybody I know. we're better able to stay in the family for those farms and their children and grandchildren won't have to leave home to make a living.
It's
transformative. The great comeback story is Belvedere, Illinois, home to an auto plant for nearly 60 years. Before I came to office, the plant was on its way to shutting down. Thousands of workers feared for their livelihoods.
Billions.
Hope was fading. Then I was elected to office, and we raised the Belvedere repeatedly with auto companies, knowing unions would make all the difference. The UAW worked like hell to keep the plant open and get these jobs back, and together we succeeded. Instead of auto factories shutting down,
UAW.
auto factories reopening, a new state-of-the-art battery factories being built to power those cars there at the
Sean Fine, or whatever his name is, fucking Western Maoism, third worldist. As Sean, the guy, Fine, Mr. Fine has said,
the folks of Belvedere,
something
I say,
all
instead
landlords.
of your town being left behind, your community is moving forward again. Because instead of watching auto jobs of the future go overseas, 4,000 union jobs with higher wages are building the future in Belvedere right here in America.
He's not a regular union leader. You hear this guy talk, and Sean is like, yeah, man, this is just step number one.
Tonight is
it's
UAW
over.
President Sean Fain, a great friend and a great labor leader. Sean, where are you?
Yeah, literally. Okay, unironically, calling out someone as radically far left as Sean Fain and like one of the most powerful union organizers alive today, actually based as hell. I'm
and Don Sims,
unreservedly giving that one over.
Generation worker, UAW worker at Belvedere. Sean, I was proud to be the first president to stand on the picket line, and today, Dawn has a good job in her hometown, providing stability for her family and pride and dignity as well.
If you forget about the whole genocide stuff, this is pretty
Wall Street
good.
didn't build America. They're not bad guys. They didn't build it, though. The middle class built the country, and unions built the middle class.
The one thing Joe has been consistently good on is organized labor. That is the one. What's an SJW doing here? Big Red, am I right? Gamergate. Gamergate.
I say to the American people,
feminazis.
when America gets knocked down, we get back up.
And we get up again, and we go
going. That's America. That's you, the American people. It's because of you America's coming back. It's because of you our future is brighter. It's because of you that tonight we can proudly say the state of our union is strong and getting stronger.
Is she going to stand every time? Yes, you idiot. 4 years. 4 more years. 4 more years.
Tonight,
4 more years.
Tonight, I want to talk about the future of possibilities that we can build together. A future where the days of trickle-down economics are over. And the wealthy and the biggest corporations no longer get all the tax breaks. And by the way, I understand corporations. I come from a state that has more corporations invested than every one of your states in the state of the United States combined. And I represented it for 36 years. I'm not anti-corporation, but I grew up in a home where trickle-down economics didn't put much on my dad's kitchen table.
Tommy Joe.
That's why I determined to turn things around so middle class does well. When they do well, the poor have a way up and the wealthy still do very well. We all do well. And there's more to do to make sure you're feeling the benefits of all we're doing. Americans pay more for prescription drugs than anywhere in the world. It's wrong, and I'm ending it.
We do this thing. It's over. It's done. It's by executive decree. All drugs are free. You hear those two fuckwits trying to boo that?
Well, I proposed and signed. Not one of you Republican buddies voted for it. We finally beat Big Pharma. Instead of paying $400 a month or thereabouts for insulin with diabetes, and it only costs $10 to make, they only get paid $35 a month now and still make a healthy profit.
I'm drinking until I match Joe Biden's cognitive speaking abilities.
But what to do next? I want to cap the cost of insulin at $35 a month for every American who needs it. Everyone.
That's how I show I'm a patriot. You fucking...
For years, people have talked about it, but finally we got it done and gave Medicare the power to negotiate lower prices on prescription drugs, just like the VA is able to do for veterans.
All right, I finished
That's
the
not
tahini.
just saving seniors money. It's saving taxpayers money. We cut the federal deficit by $160 billion.
Tanya,
Because Medicare will no
Tanya,
longer
are you
have
watching?
to pay those exorbitant prices to Big Pharma. This year, Medicare is negotiating lower prices for some of the costliest drugs on the market to treat everything from heart disease to arthritis. It's now time to go further and give Medicare the power to negotiate lower prices for 500 different drugs over the next decade.
Yeah, whatever you said.
They're making a lot of money, guys. And they'll still be extremely profitable. Will not only save lives, it will save taxpayers another $200
No
billion.
profits. None.
Starting next year, the same
Profit
law
is
caps
theft.
total prescription drug costs for seniors on Medicare at $2,000 a year, even for expensive cancer drugs that cost $10,000, $12,000, $15,000. Now I want to cap prescription drug costs at $2,000 a year for everyone.
Well, that certainly would make life better for a lot of people. I wish it was free, but that would be better.
I'm going to get in trouble for saying that, but if you want to get in Air Force One and fly to Toronto, Berlin, Moscow, even Moscow, probably. And bring your prescription with you, and I promise you I'll get it for you for 40% the cost you're paying now. Same company, same drug, same place. Folks, the Affordable Care Act, the old Obamacare, it's still a very big deal.
Vosh, are you just acting drunk? Oh, the Rational Liberal. Are you just acting banned? Are you just doing... Are you just doing a little goof?
100 million of you can no longer be denied health insurance because of pre-existing condition. Well, my predecessor, and many in this chamber, want to take this prescription drug away by repealing the Affordable Care Act. I'm not going to let that happen. We stopped you 50 times before and we'll stop you again. In fact, I'm not only protecting it, I'm expanding it. The enacted tax credits of $800 per person per year reduce health care costs for millions of working families. That tax credit expires next year. I want to make that savings permanent.
Ooh. That was me flexing, indicating the strength of the
To state
American
the
people.
obvious, women are more than half our population, but research on women's health has always been underfunded. That's why we're launching the first ever White House initiative on women's health research, led by Jill, doing an incredible job as First Lady.
Oh, that might actually end up being pretty important, potentially. That's awesome. She's a doctor, famously known. That's a use of her skill. That's pretty cool,
Pass
actually.
my plan for $12 billion to transfer women's health research.
Finally, we'll know what a woman
to
is.
benefit millions of
All
lives
the online debates can
across
be settled.
America. I know the cost of housing is so important to you. If inflation keeps coming down, mortgage rates will come down as well, and the Fed acknowledges that. But I'm not waiting. I want to provide an annual tax credit that will give Americans $400 a month for the next 2 years as mortgage rates come down, to put toward their mortgages when they buy their first home or trade up for a little more space.
Not renting, just home
For 2
owning.
years.
No, sorry, this is just home ownership, not renting. This doesn't fix the housing crisis. People are gonna love this shit, though. Because, like...
And my administration is also eliminating title insurance on federally backed mortgages. When you refinance your home, you can save $1,000 or more as a consequence. For millions of renters, we're cracking down on big landlords who use antitrust law, who break antitrust laws by price fixing and driving up rents. We've cut red tape so builders can get federally financing, which is already helping build a record
Please.
1.7 million new housing units nationwide. Now pass and build and renovate 2 million affordable homes and bring those rents down.
That's good. This shirt that I'm wearing has such a slut cut. The big sleeves are so
To
whorish.
remain the strongest economy in the world, we need to have the best education system in the world. And I suspect all of you, want to give every child, a good start by providing access to preschool for 3 and 4 years old. You know, I think I pointed out last year, that children coming from broken homes where there's no books, they're not read to, not spoken to very often, start school, kindergarten, or first grade, having heard 1 million fewer words spoken. Well, studies show that children who go to preschool are nearly 50% more likely to finish high school, go on to earn a 2- and 4-year degree, no matter what their background is.
Heavily subsidized kindergarten and elementary school would go so far to equalizing educational outcomes across racial and economic lines.
The leaders of the Business Roundtable, they were mad that they were angry. I think, well, they were discussing why I wanted to spend money on education. I pointed out to them as vice president, I met with over 182 of those folks. Don't know the exact number. And I asked them what they need most, the CEOs. And you've had the same experience on both sides of the aisle. They say a better educated workforce, right? So I looked at them, and I say, I come from Delaware. DuPont used to be the 8th largest corporation in the world. And every new enterprise they bought, they educated the workforce to that enterprise. But none of you do that anymore. Why are you angry with me providing you the opportunity for the best educated workforce in the world? And they all looked at me and said, I think you're right. I want to expand high-quality tutoring and summer learning to see that every child learns to read by 3rd grade.
Kamala, quote, fat ass, quote, Harris, getting her squats in today with all these stand-ups. Been working on that one for 2 hours. I'm pretty smart.
A good-paying job, whether or not they go to college. And I want to make sure the college is more affordable. Let's continue increasing the Pell Grants to working and middle-class families and increase record investments in HBCUs.
It is
minority-serving institutions,
important to know the
Hispanic institutions.
average American is functionally illiterate. There's a reason why our newspapers write at an 8th grade level, and a lot of Americans still can't follow them.
I just change the way in which we dealt with student loans. I fixed 2 student loan programs that already existed.
I love you,
Reduced
the
burden
tank
of student
master.
debt for nearly 4 million Americans, including nurses, firefighters, and others in public service. Like Keenan Jones, a public educator from Minnesota, who's here with us tonight. Keenan, where are you? Keenan, thank you. He's educated hundreds of students so they can go to college. Now he's able to help, after debt forgiveness, get his own daughter to college.
I already went to college.
And folks, look.
I don't remember shit.
Such relief is good for the economy because folks are now able to buy a home, start a business, start a family. While we're at it, I want to give public school teachers a raise.
I think teachers should be paid less.
And by the way, the first couple of years, we cut the deficit.
No
Now,
follow-up.
let me speak to the question of fundamental fairness for all Americans. I've been delivering real results in fiscally responsible ways. We've already cut the federal deficit. We've already cut the federal deficit over $1 trillion.
By not paying teachers.
to cut another $1 trillion in the next decade. It's my goal to cut the federal deficit another $3 trillion by making big corporations and very wealthy finally beginning to pay their fair share.
The teacher sounds like the fair share. Todd, you're...
Look, I'm a capitalist.
Yeah.
Maker can make $1 million or millions of bucks. That's great.
Billions.
Just pay your fair share in taxes.
He's talking to teachers.
A fair tax code is how we invest things to make this country great. Healthcare, education, defense, and so much more. But here's the deal. The last administration enacted a $2 trillion tax cut, overwhelmingly benefit the top 1%, the very wealthy and the biggest corporations, and exploded the federal deficit.
It's just so true, Eddie.
They added more to the national debt than any presidential term in American history. Check the numbers. Folks at home, does anybody really think the tax code is fair? Do you really think the wealthy and big corporations need another $2 trillion tax break? I sure don't. I'm going to keep fighting like hell to make it fair. Under my plan, nobody earning less than $400,000 a year will pay an additional penny in federal taxes. Nobody, not one penny.
I like that call and response. Generally, I actually think this is a very well-written State of the Union address.
In fact, the child tax credit I passed during the pandemic cut taxes for millions of working families and cut child poverty in half. Restore that child
poor
tax
children.
credit. No child should go hungry in this country. The way to make the tax code fair
Shinderu.
is to make big corporations and the very wealthy begin to pay their fair share. Remember in 2020, 55 of the biggest companies in America made $40 billion and paid zero in federal income tax. Zero. Not anymore.
Biden is
Thanks
really
to the law
like
I wrote, we signed,
13%
big
of the
companies have to pay a
50
minimum of
company.
15%. But that's still less than working people pay in federal
I
taxes.
forget the meme.
It's time to raise corporate minimum tax to at least 21%. So every big corporation finally begins to pay their fair share. I also want to end tax breaks for big pharma, big oil, private jets, massive executive pay when it's only supposed to be $1 million that could be deducted. They can pay them $20 million if they want, but deduct $1 million. End it now. You know, there are 1,000 billionaires in America. You know what the average federal tax is for those billionaires?
I thought there were 400.
No.
1,000?
They're making great sacrifices, 8.2%. That's far less than the vast majority of Americans pay. No billionaire should pay a lower federal tax rate than a teacher, a sanitation worker, or a nurse.
Huh. Says it's 756, not 1,000. Joe Brandon lied, and people died.
I propose a minimum tax for billionaires of 25%, just 25%. You know what that would raise? That would raise $500 billion over the next 10 years. And imagine what that could do for America. Imagine a future with affordable child care. Millions of families can get they need to go to work to help grow the economy. Imagine a future with paid leave, because no one should have to choose between working and taking care of their sick family members.
Yeah, just slap that shit on.
Imagine the future of home care and elder care, and people living with disabilities, so they can stay in their homes and family caregivers can finally get the pay they deserve. Tonight, let's all agree once again to stand up for seniors. Many of my friends.
Everyone who stands up to applaud you, Joe, is standing up for seniors.
On the chopping block. If anyone here tries to cut Social Security, Medicare, or raise the retirement age, I will stop you.
If anyone tries to go after old people, I'll kill you.
The working people who built this country pay more into Social Security than millionaires and billionaires do. It's not fair. We have two ways to go. Republicans can cut Social Security and give more tax breaks to the wealthy. That's the proposal. Oh, no. You guys don't want another $2 trillion tax cut? I kind of thought that's what your plan was. Well, that's good to hear. You're not going to cut another $2 trillion for the super wealth. That's good to hear. I'll protect and strengthen Social Security and make the wealthy pay their fair share.
Oh, this is a good one. This is good. This is good. This is a good one. That was good improv from him, too.
Too many corporations raise prices to pad their profits, charging more and more for less and less.
Price ceiling?
That's why we're cracking down on corporations that engage in price gouging and deceptive pricing, from food to healthcare to housing.
Everything $1.
In fact, the snack companies think you won't notice.
Kellogg's.
If they change the size of the bag and put a hell of a lot fewer.
Kellogg's. Boycott.
Same size bag. Put fewer chips in it. No, I'm not joking. It's called shrinkflation. Pass Bobby Casey's bill and stop this.
Everything $1. New car $1. New house $1. They call it the biggest 99-cent store in history, America.
Probably all saw that commercial on Snickers bars. You get charged the same amount, and you got about, I don't know, 10% fewer Snickers in it.
Where'd the dick
Look,
fame go?
I'm also getting rid of junk fees. Those hidden fees at the end of your bill that are there without your knowledge. My administration announced we're cutting credit card late fees from $32 to $8.
It's not enough, but it's good.
Banks and credit card companies are allowed to charge what it costs them to instigate the collection. And that's more a hell of a lot like $8 and 30-some dollars. They don't like it. The credit card companies don't like it. But I'm saving American families $20 billion a year with all the junk fees I'm eliminating. Folks at home,
hell
that's
yeah.
why the banks are so mad. It's $20 billion in profit. I'm not stopping there. My administration has proposed rules to make cable, travel, utilities, and online ticket sellers tell you the total price up front so there are no surprises. It matters. It matters.
Shrinkflation has been going on for
So
decades.
does this.
Every Snickers bar used to
In
weigh
November,
2 pounds.
My team began serious negotiation with a bipartisan group of senators. The result was a bipartisan bill with the toughest set of border security reforms we've ever seen. Oh, you don't think so?
Republicans want you to have
Oh, you don't like that bill, huh?
1
That
ounce
conservatives
Snickers
got together
bars.
and said it was a good bill? I'll be darned. That's amazing. That bipartisan bill would hire 1,500 more security agents and officers, 100 more immigration judges to help tackle the backload of 2 million cases, 4,300 more asylum officers, and new policies so they can resolve cases in 6 months instead of 6 years now. What are you against? 100 more high-tech drug detection machines to significantly increase the ability to screen and stop vehicles smuggling fentanyl into America. That's killing thousands of children. This bill would save lives and bring order to the border.
Put
It will also
troops
give me and any new president
with the Mexicans.
new emergency authority to temporarily shut down the border when the number of migrants at the border is overwhelming. The Border Patrol Union has endorsed this bill. The Federal Chamber of Commerce is, yeah. You're saying low. Look at the facts. I know you know how to read. I believe that given the opportunity for a majority in the House and Senate would endorse the bill as well, a majority right now. But unfortunately, politics has derailed this bill so far. I'm told my predecessor called members of Congress in the Senate to demand they block the bill. He feels a political win. He viewed it as a political win for me and a political loser for him. It's not about him. It's not about me. I'd be a winner. Not really.
Was that Boebert? That sounded like Boebert. Oh no, MTG.
Lincoln Riley, an innocent young woman who was killed by an illegal. That's right. But how many of the thousands of people being killed by illegals? To her parents, I say, my heart goes out to you, having lost children myself. I understand. But look, if we change the dynamic at the border, people pay these smugglers $8,000 to get across the border because they know if they get by and let into the country, it's 6 to 8 years before they have a hearing. And it's worth taking the chance of the $8,000. But if it's only 6 weeks, the idea is it's highly unlikely that people will pay that money and come all that way, knowing that they'll be able to be kicked out quickly. Folks, I would respectfully suggest my Republican friends owe it to the American people, get this bill done. We need to act now.
Okay, I understand the point he was trying to arrive at there, but holy shit, that was the rockiest road imaginable. That was a goddamn ice cream court jug road.
And if my predecessor is watching, instead of paying politics and pressuring members of Congress to block the bill, join me in telling the Congress to pass it. We can do it together. But that's what here's what he will not do. I will not demonize immigrants saying they are poison in the blood of our country. I will not separate families. I will not ban people because of their faith. Unlike my predecessor on my first day in office, I introduced a comprehensive bill to fix our immigration system. Take a look at it. It has all these and more. Secure the border. Provide a pathway to citizenship for dreamers, and so much more. But unlike my predecessor, I know who we are as Americans. We're the only nation in the world with a heart and soul that draws from old and new. Home to Native Americans, whose ancestors have been here for thousands of years. Home to people of from every place on earth. They came freely. Some came in chains. Some came when famine struck, like my ancestral family in Ireland. Some to flee persecution, to chase dreams that are impossible anywhere but here in America. That's America. And we all come from somewhere, but we're all American. Look, folks.
That's true.
We have a simple choice. We can fight about fixing the border, or we can fix it. I'm ready to fix it. Send me the border bill now. A transformational moment in history happened 59 years ago today in Selma, Alabama. Hundreds of foot soldiers for justice marched across the Edmund Pettus Bridge, named after the Grand Dragon of the Ku Klux Klan, to claim their fundamental right to vote. They were beaten, they were bloody, and left for dead. Our late friend and former colleague, John Lewis, was on that march. We miss him.
Ready for the GOP to boo Joe Biden coming out in support of the Civil Rights Act.
Joining us tonight are other marchers, both in the gallery and on the floor, including Betty Mae Fikes, known as the voice of Selma. The daughter of gospel singers and preachers, she sang songs of prayer and protest on that bloody Sunday to help shake the nation's conscience. 5 months later, the Voting Rights Act passed and was signed into law. Thank you.
Yeah, the GOP continuing to sit down for this one, I assume. I don't know. Getting the whole chamber here. See, Mike Johnson's up there. You gotta. That's the secret to the State of the Union. You gotta throw these ones in where you're like, "Hey, Martin Luther King Jr. was good, right?"
59 years
and
later,
everyone has to stand up.
their forces taking
Even if
us
they don't
back
mean
in
it.
time. Voter suppression, election subversion, unlimited dark money, extreme gerrymandering. John Lewis was a great friend to many of us here, but if you truly want to honor him and all the heroes who marched with him, then it's time to do more than talk. Pass the Freedom to Vote Act, the John Lewis Voting Right Act.
And now they don't stand up, yeah. Because that's the line, right? They hypothetically support previous civil rights gains, even if they don't.
And stop.
But anything modern?
Stop denying another core value of America, our diversity across American life. Banning books, it's wrong. Instead of erasing history, let's make history. I want to protect fundamental rights. Pass the Equality Act. And my message to transgender Americans, I have your back. Pass the PRO Act for workers' rights. Raise the federal minimum wage, because every worker has a right to a decent living more than $7 an hour. We're also making history by confronting the climate crisis, not denying it. I don't think any of you think there's no longer a climate crisis. At least I hope you don't. I'm taking the most significant action ever on climate in the history of the world. I'm cutting our carbon emissions in half by 2030, creating tens of thousands of clean energy jobs, like the IBEW work is building and installing 500,000 electric vehicle charging stations. Conserving 30% of America's lands and waters by 2030. And taking action on environmental justice fence line communities smothered by the legacy of pollution. And patterned after the Peace Corps and AmeriCorps, I launched the Climate Corps to put 20,000 young people to work in the forefront of our clean energy future. I'll triple that number in a decade. To state the obvious, all Americans deserve the freedom to be safe. And America is safer today than when I took office. The year before I took office, murder rates went up 30%. 30% they went up. The biggest increase in history. What the fuck? It was then, through my American Rescue Plan, which every American voted against.
They're putting him in the device.
We made the largest investment in public safety ever. Last year, the murder rate saw the sharpest decrease in history. Violent crime fell to one of its lowest levels in more than 50 years. But we have more to do. We have to help cities invest in more community police officers, more mental health workers, more community violence intervention. Give communities the tool to crack down on gun crime, retail crime, and carjacking. Keep building trust, as I've been doing by taking executive action on police reform and calling for.
I don't know what he was saying. I don't know.
Directing my cabinet to review the federal classification of marijuana and expunging thousands of convictions for the mere possession, because no one should be jailed for simply using or have it on their record. Take on crimes of domestic violence. I'm ramping up the federal enforcement of the Violence Against Women Act that I proudly wrote when I was a senator, so we can finally end the scourge against women in America. There are other kinds of violence I want to stop. With us tonight is Jasmine, whose 9-year-old sister Jackie was murdered with 21 classmates and teachers in an elementary school in Uvalde, Texas. Very soon after that happened, Jill and I went to Uvalde for a couple of days. We spent hours and hours with each of the families. We heard their message, so everyone in this room, in this chamber, could hear the same message. The constant refrain, and I was there for hours meeting with every family. They said, do something. Do something. Well, I did do something by establishing the first ever Office of Gun Violence Prevention in the White House, that the Vice President is leading the charge. Thank you for doing it. Meanwhile, Meanwhile, my predecessor told the NRA he's proud he did nothing on guns when he was president. Oh. After another shooting in Iowa recently, he said...
He did, though. He did the bump stock ban.
He said, just get over it. There's his quote, just get over it. I say, stop it. Stop it, stop it, stop it. I'm proud we beat the NRA when I signed the most significant gun safety law in nearly 30 years because of this Congress. We now must beat the NRA again. I'm demanding a ban on assault weapons and high-capacity magazines.
I'm sure that'll solve everything.
None of this. None of this. I taught the Second Amendment for 12 years. None of this violates the Second Amendment or vilifies responsible gun owners. You know, as we manage challenges at home, we're also managing crises abroad, including in the Middle East. I know the last 5 months have been gut-wrenching.
Oh, here
for
we
so
go.
many people, for the Israeli people, for the Palestinian people, and so many here in America. This crisis began on October 7th with a massacre by a terrorist group called Hamas, as you all know. 1,200.
I didn't know this. I've never heard about
women
this.
and girls, men and boys slaughtered after enduring sexual violence.
It's the first I'm hearing about it.
The deadliest day for the Jewish people since the Holocaust, and 250 hostages taken. Here in this chamber tonight are families whose loved ones are still being held by Hamas. I pledge to all the families that we will not rest until we bring every one of your loved ones home. We also...
Sure would be a shame if they all starved to death from the fucking aid block that Israel is doing because you let them.
We will also work around the clock to bring home Evan and Paul, Americans being unjustly detained by the Russians.
Oh, that's it.
And
Oh, we're
others
done
around the
now.
world.
That's it. Really? That's the
Israel
only thing.
has
Oh,
a right
sure.
to go
No.
after Hamas.
Yeah, hell
Hamas
yeah.
ended this
Yep, there we
conflict by
go.
releasing
There's your
hostages,
mention. There
laying
you
down
go.
arms, could end it. By,
There you go.
Releasing the hostages, laying down arms, and surrendering those responsible for October 7th.
Oh, no, we're back to it.
Israel has Israel has a added burden because Hamas hides and operates among the civilian population like cowards.
Yep, that's true.
Under
Their
hospital
operations bases under
daycare
every
centers and all the
hospital
like.
simultaneously. Yeah.
Israel also has a fundamental responsibility, though, to protect innocent civilians in Gaza.
Clearly they don't, actually. I'm seeing what they're doing. I'm seeing what you've been doing. I don't think they actually do.
This war
Like, you're saying that, but...
has taken a greater toll on innocent civilians than all previous wars in Gaza combined. More than 30,000 Palestinians have been killed, most of whom are not Hamas. Thousands and thousands of innocent women and children,
50% of
girls
whom
and
are not
boys, also orphaned. Nearly 2 million more Palestinians under bombardment or displacement. Homes destroyed, neighborhoods in rubble, cities in ruin. Families without food, water, medicine. It's heartbreaking. I've been working nonstop to establish an immediate ceasefire that would last for 6 weeks to get all the prisoners released, all the hostages released.
What happens
to get the
after the 6
hostages
weeks?
home and ease the intolerable and humanitarian crisis and build toward an enduring, something more enduring. The United States has been leading international efforts to get more humanitarian assistance to Gaza. Tonight, I'm directing the U.S. military to lead an emergency mission to establish a temporary pier in the Mediterranean on the coast of Gaza that can receive large shipments carrying food, water, medicine, and temporary shelters. No U.S. boots will be on the ground. A temporary pier will enable a massive increase in the amount of humanitarian assistance getting into Gaza every day.
There's a lot of ways that can go bad, but this would be an
Israel must do its
example.
part. Israel must allow more aid into Gaza to ensure humanitarian workers aren't caught in the crossfire.
I will actually pause for
They're
this.
announcing
this could be, I'm sorry, this could be done really poorly, but at the same time, this is potentially one of those ways that he could circumvent Netanyahu and provide aid. Getting more eyes on the ground means that you could both get aid and deter like Israeli aggression in the area. That's if it's done well. Potentially, this could be very good. It might end up being nothing. This is like one of the smart things I would have suggested he do earlier. Okay, gonna speed up to catch up.
We're going to have a crossing in northern Gaza. The leadership of
This
Israel,
puts
I say
massive
this:
pressure on Israel.
humanitarian assistance cannot be a secondary consideration or a bargaining chip. Protecting and saving innocent lives has to be a priority. As we look to the future, the only real solution to the situation is a two-state solution over time.
And calling for a two-state solution as well. This is definitely trying to like
And I say this
go through
as
Netanyahu.
a lifelong supporter of Israel. My entire career, no one has a stronger record with Israel than I do. I challenge any of you here.
That's kind of true, yeah.
I'm the only American president of Israel in wartime. But there is no other path that guarantees Israel's security and democracy. There is no other path that guarantees Palestinians can live in peace with peace and dignity. And there's no other path that guarantees peace between Israel and all of its neighbors, including Saudi Arabia, with whom I'm talking. Creating stability in the Middle East also means containing the threat posed by Iran. That's why I built a coalition of more than a dozen countries to defend international shipping and freedom of navigation in the Red Sea. I've ordered strikes to degrade the Houthi capability and defend U.S. forces in the region. As Commander-in-Chief, I will not hesitate to direct further measures to protect our people and our military personnel.
We're almost caught
For
up.
years, I've heard many of my Republican and Democratic friends say that China is on the rise and America is falling behind. They've got it backwards. I've been saying it for over 4 years, even when I wasn't president. America's rising. We have the best economy in the world. And since I've come to office, our GDP is up, our trade deficit with China is down to the lowest point in over a decade. And we're standing up against China's unfair economic practices.
We have more RGB lighting than ever
Peace
before.
and stability across the Taiwan Straits. I've revitalized our partnership and alliance in the Pacific. India, Australia, Japan, South Korea, Pacific Islands. I've made sure that the most advanced American technologies can't be used in China, not allowing to trade them there. Frankly, for all this tough talk on China, it never occurred to my predecessor to do any of that. I want competition with China, not conflict. And we're in a stronger position to win the conflict of the 21st century against China than anyone else, for that matter, than any time as well. Here at home, I've signed over 400 bipartisan bills. But there's more to pass my unity agenda.
Caught up yet?
Strengthen penalties on fentanyl trafficking.
Close enough.
You don't want to do that, huh? Pass bipartisan privacy legislation to protect our children online.
What?
Harness the promise of AI to protect us from peril.
What? What?
Ban AI voice impersonations and more. And keep our truly sacred obligation to train and equip those we send into harm's way and care for them and their families when they come home.
Well,
and
what?
when they don't.
Wait, what? When? How did we get here? What? He murmured and ban AI
That's
voice to
why
keep the troops safe?
The song
What?
Support and Help of Dennis and the VA, I signed the PACT Act. One of the most significant laws ever, helping millions of veterans exposed to toxins
What?
who now are battling more than 100 different cancers. Many of them don't come home.
Shut up, Jack. We're banning
We owe them and their
ChatGPT.
families support. We owe it to ourselves to keep supporting our new health research agency called ARPA-H. And remind us that we can do big things, like end cancer as we know it, and we will.
As we know it, he's going to make cancer worse. We're ending the era of Cancer Model 1 and entering a new one of double cancer.
Let me close with this. Yay!
Cancer 2! Cancer 2!
I know you don't want to hear any more, Lindsay, but I got to say a few more things.
They want Cancer 1. We're doing Cancer 2?
I know it may not look like it, but I've been around a while. When you get to be my age, certain things become clearer than ever. I know the American story. Again and again, I've seen the contest between competing forces in the battle for the soul of our nation, between those who want to pull America back to the past and those who want to move America into the future. My lifetime has taught me to embrace freedom and democracy, a future based on core values that have defined America: honesty, decency, dignity, equality, to respect everyone, to give everyone a fair shot, to give hate no safe harbor. Now, other people my age see it differently. The American story of resentment, revenge, and retribution, that's not me. I was born amid World War II when America stood for the freedom of the world.
Yeah, really?
I grew up in Scranton, Pennsylvania, and Claymont,
Joe,
Delaware,
don't
among
remind
working-class
people.
people who built this country. I watched in horror as two of my heroes, like many of you did, Dr. King and Bobby Kennedy, were assassinated. And their legacies inspired me to pursue a career in service. I left the law firm and became a public defender because my city of Wilmington was the only city in America occupied by the National Guard after Dr. King was assassinated because of the riots. And I became a county councilman almost by accident. I got elected to the United States Senate when I had no intention of running at age 29. Then vice president of our first black president. Now president to the first women vice president.
God, he's so fucking old. Nobody has ever been this old. Jesus Christ.
In my career, I've been told I was too young. By the way, they didn't let me on the Senate elevators for votes sometimes. Not a joke.
If only I knew what he said.
And I've been told I'm too old. Whether young or old, I've always known what endures. I've known our North Star. The very idea of America is that we're all created equal and deserves to be treated equally throughout our lives. We've never fully lived up to that idea, but we've never walked away from it either. And I won't walk away from it now. I'm optimistic. I really am. I'm optimistic, Nancy. My fellow Americans, the issue facing our nation isn't how old we are, it's how old are our ideas. Hate, anger, revenge, retribution are the oldest of ideas. But you can't lead America with ancient ideas that only take us back. You lead America, the land of possibilities. You need a vision for the future and what can and should be done. Tonight you've heard mine. I see a future where defending democracy, you don't diminish it. I see a future where we restore the right to choose and protect our freedoms, not take them away. I see a future where the middle class finally has a fair shot and the wealthy have to pay their fair share in taxes. I see a future where we save the planet from the climate crisis and our country from gun violence. Above all, I see a future for all Americans. I see a country for all Americans. And I will always be president for all Americans because I believe in America. I believe in you, the American people. You're the reason we've never been more optimistic about our future than I am now. So let's build the future together. Let's remember who we are. We are the United States of America. And there is nothing beyond our capacity when we act together. God bless you all, and may God protect our troops. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Okay, I'm really sorry to say this right now, but it needs to be said. Fucking Toriyama died. It just got announced like 20 minutes ago. What the fuck? It literally got announced mid-fucking State of the Union address. Bro, tone shift? Yeah, what am I supposed to do? Sit on this information, not say it? What the fuck? Who? The person who made Dragon Ball. He spirit bombed Biden, man. Biden needed all the energy he could get to make it through that State of the Union address, potentially his last one. And Toriyama gave him too much. He died on March 1st. They just released it. Don't get in the way of my narrative. Don't get in the way of my narrative. How will Mexico cope? I don't know. There we go. Biden should have eulogized him during the State of the Union. That's true. We are watching it live. He should have addressed it at the end. Hold up, AOC packs sins. This changes everything. I'd be very surprised if that was what that was. God, she's hot. And it's chewing tobacco.
Baptist preacher tonight. You were the Baptist preacher tonight.
I'll tell you what Jim Eason once said to me. He said, what did old Jim Eason do for you, Delaware? I said, Mr. Chairman, someplace you'd help and someplace you'd hurt. He looked at me and said, I'll come and campaign for you again, whichever helps.
Come on now. Good job.
Good job. Great job.
Bernie,
Be lively. That was a sermon tonight.
this is your chance. It's so funny how even some of those powerful people in the world are still doing the thing where they obsessively take selfies everywhere, you know? Like, this, it's actually kind of humanizing.
Great job.
Or like, they're literally Congress people. They're like, dude, it's the president. Like, take a picture, you know?
We're gonna get that halftime so that was great so y'all can get in there. Slowly. Let me see you.
By the way, I've been in constant contact with them. Here's what I worry about with Ukraine. If we pull away, the rest of Europe's going to pull away. So looking for us.
Ukraine. Bernie! Bernie's making his way in. He's gonna take a shot.
We're gonna get a deal done on Ukraine. We have to. Yes. There's no. Good job on the border.
Good job on the border. Thank you.
Oh yeah, I'm sticking with it.
No, I really mean it.
No, really. Thank you, sir.
And this guy with you does too.
Oh yeah, he does.
Good. It was amazing. You did a good job. You were right on.
Yeah, you were on fire. You were on fire.
Nobody's going to talk about cognitive impairment now.
Yeah. You were on fire.
I kind of wish sometimes there was cognitive impairment.
Love to riz up the president of the United States. Bro, you are looking fit. Have you lost weight? You were on fleek up there.
You fired us all up. Yeah, you fired us
Hey, Pat. I want you to know. Democratic Party was united.
We're getting dummy thick today, Mr. President.
So before you.
Mr. President, you're absolutely serving cunt tonight. That would be how Santos approaches him. Did Bernie move away? Does Bernie not care to talk to the president? Look at this fucking Kappa over here. Bernie doesn't ass kissed. You sounded like shit. I listened to your speech. I regret it. You're old. You're washed up. I should have been president.
I actually wanted to go that way so I could say hello to them.
You were not serving cunt. 1% of the politicians serve 99% of the cunt on Capitol Hill, and you were not one of them.
Good job, officer. Tammy Duckworth down here trying to get to you, but she can't get out. I'll get the team. Thanks for
You are not on fleek. Your ass is not looking dummy thick. I'm sorry.
It's got to turn around.
Tempest, does it really? But all the gay people say that. What about Australians? That's very Aussie-phobic. Has AOC already been up there to have a chat? I doubt she will. Oh my god. Look at his fucking face, man. Holy shit. Alright. I'll give my thoughts while there's still neurons running through my brain and I'm not completely fucking gone. Altogether, like, obviously, in terms of Biden's age, he stammered like every 5 seconds. That's not even an exaggeration. He actually really might have stammered every 5 seconds, or stammered, or stumbled, or made some mistake or another. It looks bad. It makes him look incredibly old because he is incredibly old. Some of the stumbling was pretty serious. He had to like correct himself or double back or clearly go off script for a second. But there weren't any grievous ones. There weren't any ones that were so bad that it, like, will probably become a media sensation. In terms of the structure of the speech, yeah, its content, it was actually, I think, pretty great, you know? My criticisms of Biden are extremely well known, so, you know, with that qualifier kept in mind, the way it was structured, the things that he said, I think that... they were politically effective. He focused on topics that seemed like they were of import to the American people. I liked his aggression. I think that he was very aggressive when he talked about the Republicans' attitudes towards abortion, guns, tax cuts. He didn't even get that many unified boos from the Republican crowd because often the speech was structured in such a way to make it so that it would have been ambiguous what the Republicans were booing if they had booed, you know? Like, for example, when he said the Republicans have, like, underestimated women and they have taken Roe v. Wade away and such, the Republicans can't really boo that because they ran on it. Like, if they boo that, then they're kind of, like, transparently indicating that they aren't happy with the political consequences of something they've been campaigning on for, like, 50 years. So... it was well structured in that response. The worst part of the night by far was Biden doing this weird waffly segue on the border crisis and referring to a person as an illegal when an American citizen was killed by an undocumented immigrant. Apparently, I don't know the exact details. There are literally tens of millions of undocumented immigrants in America. One of them did a murder. Okay, I hear this happens from citizens as well. Biden, while making his way up to the podium, talked to some of the people on the way and was given a button with the name of the murdered American citizen on it. And when he talked about his desire to address the issue at the border, there were people in the crowd who were talking. The Republicans, they were jeering, and he was like, yeah, like he incorporated it. Yeah, he kind of took the bait. Yeah. Said like, yes, this person was killed by an illegal blah, blah, blah. And then he tried to like segue it into a thing on how providing more funding for immigration court would mean there are less violent illegal immigrants who come through, which is literally true, by the way. That is absolutely the case. That is true. Nothing he said there was technically incorrect, but the way he presented it and the fact that he referred to that person as an illegal is not good. So yeah, I just don't think people understand that point. Yeah, no. It was presented poorly. The main thing that I'm interested in, more so than anything else, is this, what appears to me as an incredibly aggressive statement on forming a temporary dock in the Gaza Strip to directly bring aid to the Palestinians. He said that no American troops would put boots on the ground, kind of suggesting that they would be on the boats, but that aid workers would deliver the aid directly into the Gaza Strip. Now, that's interesting. Netanyahu cannot possibly be happy with that, nor the fact that Biden finished his statements on Israel and Palestine with a reaffirmation of his support for a two-state solution, something that Netanyahu doesn't want. But the idea of America building a dock there is interesting. What if Israel shoots at the aid workers? Well, that wouldn't be very politically prescient of Israel. Look, let me tell you where Biden's at, okay? Biden is a Zionist, but Biden doesn't like Netanyahu. Nobody likes Netanyahu. No American president likes Netanyahu. Trump doesn't. Obama didn't. Bush didn't. Clinton didn't. Nobody likes Netanyahu. The Israelis don't like Netanyahu, right? So Biden may be a Zionist, which he is, but Biden understands, even if he is indifferent to the suffering of the Palestinian people, that it is very politically bad for him to be so openly aligned with genocide when that is going on. Like, Biden and the DNC, regardless of their individual opinions on Israel or Zionism, understand that what is happening right now is politically ineffective. Simple as that. So Biden wants to stem the death of Palestinians, wants to reduce how many of them are dying, possibly even down to zero if he can get away with it, because it is politically expedient for him to do so. We're not talking about ethics. We're just talking about politics, what he feels is beneficial to him. So I have many criticisms of how Biden has handled this situation. I think genocide is bad, for one, but it seems like right now Netanyahu is preparing for a ground incursion into Rafah, where over 1.2 million Palestinians are huddled in refugee camps. Many will die if the IDF directly intervenes, and the population is starving to death. There have already been Palestinian children, dozens, who have starved to death. And if there are some Palestinian children who are starving to death, that means that a lot of them are near starving to death, right? Kind of a minor problem until it's not sort of deal, except it's not even minor. It's children starving to death. A major problem until it's extremely major, I guess, then. Now, Biden doesn't want that to happen. I need everyone to understand that. As bad as Biden has been on this, Biden is not sitting there in the Oval Office thinking, yep, Can't wait to read a headline, 30,000 Palestinians dead of starvation found in one day. Like that, it's not good for Biden at all. That's just, I promise you. However bad you might think, there's a difference here. Netanyahu wants to kill Palestinians. Biden is a Zionist, yes, but I don't think Biden's waking up in the morning deriving joy from dead Palestinian children. I don't think that's not the level of Zionism he's on. He's on this like 1960s like US geopolitical power, America world police, like post-World War II Zionist nationalism bent. Like he's, whatever level he's on, it's not Netanyahu's. He doesn't want every Palestinian dead, even if his weakness and ineptitude and cowardice might end up leading to that happening. It would be politically beneficial for Joe Biden if they didn't all die, because as it turns out, some Americans would be upset about that. So this attempt to build a dock could potentially be a way for America to do two very important things. One, provide aid to the Palestinian people, much needed. And two, get either Americans or American-aligned people into the Gaza Strip to distribute the aid. And their presence would both put a lot of eyes on what the IDF is doing there and make it difficult for the IDF to be as reckless or indiscriminate. Guys, I understand that Israel has gotten away with a lot of really bad stuff, but even Israel cannot bear the social consequences of indiscriminately targeting or killing American aid workers. There are a lot of Americans who have died in the Gaza Strip, to be sure, but usually ones that are aligned with the UNRWA or ones that work for this journalistic org or this or that, the other. But there are limits. And Americans working with an American effort to build a dock and distribute aid, if they just start dropping like flies, that would be... Look, I don't know for a fact that that would turn American opinion against Israel. All I know is that it wouldn't be good for it. That would be pretty bad. Maybe they do it and get away with it. I can't see the future. But I can tell you that it's not good for Israel for them to do that with regards to their support from America. You know? Simple as. So maybe it'll end up being bad. Maybe it'll end up being a big nothing. It has the potential to end up being at least something. So Israel opening fire on UN workers is okay, but Americans are off limit? Yep. Yes. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Yes. That is correct. As bad as this country is, never forget what we are. That's so fucked. Well, they should have been American. Sad. They'll do a false flag and blame Hamas? No, they won't. You think a government as incompetent as Israel could do a false flag against the United States? There's evidence October 7th may have been half false flag. No, there isn't. Hamas did October 7th. The crossfire between Hamas and the IDF did lead to Israelis being killed, but it was not like a planned thing from Netanyahu. What the fuck is a half false flag? I have no idea. Israel did know about the Hamas attack for about a year. No, they didn't. Israel had received intel that Hamas was planning something, the exact same way that American intel agencies had received intel that bin Laden could be planning something for months prior to 9/11. What you have to understand fundamentally is that like intel agencies in any country, the people in those agencies are doing coke and fucking prostitutes. They're incompetent. They can be competent when they have a direct mission, but in terms of like receiving and parsing information and making good decisions long term, they fuck up all the time. It doesn't make it a false flag. It just means these governments are incompetent, which they are. We gonna watch the Republican response? Yeah. Tomorrow. I told you exactly what would happen if I drank. I find it really hard to believe Israel had no way to know this was going to happen. I don't know what you're saying. Israel, they knew it could happen. They were just incompetent. I don't know what you mean. Mossad literally surveilled Hamas training for the mission but didn't actually take it seriously. Yeah, here's a question, guys. If it was a false flag, why would there be so much evidence of Israeli government incompetence in surveilling and hearing about this information but not doing anything about it? Like, if Israel wanted to, like, let all this happen, why would they let it happen in such a way that tarnished Netanyahu's reputation further? And also, there's so much evidence of them just, like, failing to act on information they were given. Yeah, racism and low expectations of the Palestinians are definitely a big part of it. Because Netanyahu thought it would lead to a rally around the flag effect. Potentially, but like that's often the case with conflict. That doesn't mean that Netanyahu wanted them to break through and like take territory in town and kill so and so many people. I think I'm just shocked a country that is supposed to be that much of a power is so incompetent. That's like cartoonishly insane. Nope, that's fascism. Sorry. The more irrational, ethno-nationalist, and jingoistic a military or an intel agency or whatever else is, the more incompetent they get. Most coups, most fuck-ups, most big terror attacks or whatever else, you read the stories into them, they're almost always the consequence of massive arrogance and incompetence. Like, basically every time. You look at any, like, any of the, like, recurring coups that happen in like, West Africa or you know, Sub-Saharan Africa or Southeast Asia or just any of these areas where a lot of the shit, you know, just constant turmoil. And it's like, no, you know, people are just arrogant and stupid. That's just how humans are. For them not to be is the rarity, you know? Yeah, what do you want me to do about it, Jazz 101? Do you condemn the insane Twitter person? I don't even know what Twitter person you're talking about. Is it true that Israel hasn't signed the Geneva Convention, so they literally can't be charged with genocide internationally? They're literally arguing against the charge of genocide in the International Court of Justice right now. Also, Israel's ratified the Geneva Convention. I can barely read the text on my screen. Are you ready for 2028? We haven't even finished the 2024 elections. Slow down. Should Biden have brought up Trump's criminal charges? No. The State of the Union address is meant to be a State of the Union address. For him to branch off into just like smearing his presidential opponent would be genuinely like quite bad optically and politically. Isn't that what Trump did, though? Yeah, but I don't think it would sell well with Biden. They're held to different standards optically. Should Biden have tried it? Why are you asking me questions? What are you doing? I don't care. Should Biden have done? I'm just rotating a pussy in my head, right? Like a 3D model. What do you do you have any idea how much fucking self-control it takes to stream while drunk? Okay? You couldn't, you people lose friends. You take a sip at a bar, okay? I'm sitting up here and I have to, people in chatter be, Vosh, have you considered that, like, what if the Jews faked October 7th? I have to answer this. I have to, well, no, actually, it's because of politics, which is my answer to everything. What do you mean, you people? You white names. I see you. It's always the goddamn white names. Is streaming the hardest job in the world, Vosh? Yes. No other job on earth is more difficult than being a live streamer. Didn't Hassan get a bunch of shit recently for saying that? Excuse me. Is this?
Hassan Abi thinks that a 9-to-5 job is
Why do we need the coverage on this fucking TikTok repost?
harder than streaming. Fuck the soul out of you. So when that clip got taken quote unquote out of context.
Oh, they're just not gonna let. What's the actual clip? 17 minutes? Just play the clip, you fuck.
Text Hassan said 9 hours so that I could not expend your social battery. 9 hours of constant performance taps you out from social scenarios. After 9 hours of that, I could probably do physical labor. When all he has to
Okay. To be fair, Hassan said socially draining, not actually harder.
do is react to videos and talk to his chat, but I'm sure that commute to his bedroom is just really taking a toll on him. And he gets paid millions of dollars to do this, by the way, so this is just the most rich person problem I've ever heard.
This is such low quality trauma bait, dude. Why not, like, put your own spin on it? What the fuck? Jesus. Just boring. Look, streaming is a very easy job that only a few people can do. And it's a very easy job, except for some specific ways in which it's very, very difficult. Okay, it is a job that is incredibly lenient in a lot of ways, and then in some very specific ways is unimaginably stressful and draining. And that's, you know, that's just the nature of it, right? Here's the clip. Oh, thank God, thank you, Canoe. The real clip. Like that's it. Yeah. Most of the stuff, like. I love streaming. Most of the stuff involved in streaming, most of the stuff that you have to do to be a streamer is much easier than the stuff that you would have to do in any kind of comparable job. Like, leaving aside, first of all, most streamers don't make as much money as Hassan, or as me for that matter. Obviously, we're both very large. So most people who live stream are making not very much money. Like, a lot of them are barely making enough money to get by. So leaving aside like the wealth element of it, like just talking about the nature of the work. Oh, well, this clip is a lot longer. Man, the out of context clipperino doodery-doos. Doobity-doo. Ba-doo-boo-boo. Oh, I muted Twitter so I could look at cool videos during the State of the Union, because my huge brain allows me to process so much information.
No. Social battery wise, unless you're in retail, fucking retail, it's very different. You're out of touch. I'm gonna die, dude. There's motherfuckers who are accountants in here and they're misunderstanding what I'm saying. A real job does not expend your social battery in the same fucking way as someone who did a sales job, a real job. Okay. I'm telling you, as someone who did both, like 9 hours of constant performance and people pleasing taps you out from social scenarios. After 9 hours of that, I could probably do fucking physical labor. It would not bother me, but I can't fucking do more social shit. That's my...
This just varies person to person. Like, literally. Some people will find streaming very socially draining. I find it moderately socially draining. there are some like regular jobs that are more or less socially draining. That's just a variety thing. It's just like that's a personal, like that's so subjective, you know. Sometimes people get really burnt out really quickly from some stuff.
My point. Like,
his take is retarded IMO. So far, he hasn't said anything bad. So if you take issue with what he said thus far, it's because you're like ascribing positions to him that he doesn't have or that he hasn't said he has here.
there are obviously real jobs out there that are good comparisons. Service sector, people-pleasing jobs would be very similar. Those are like, I think, customer service type shit. But like if you're an accountant or if you're even like in sales, my interactions with clients was limited, way more limited than like constantly having to do this for 9 hours with like a back and forth interaction for 9 hours. That's what like sucks your social battery and you just tap out after it. Yeah, think about it this way.
Look, that's it? Man, this was drama? This is dumb as hell. How much your social battery gets drained is a totally subjective thing that varies person to person in different kinds of jobs. Sometimes a job can be really draining if you've got shit coworkers, but if you have coworkers that are cool and normal, then it's fine. Like it's so subjective that making like he's obviously talking about his personal experiences here. He's not talking about like you know, like objectively speaking, yeah. Stupid drama farming. Stupid. Fucking stupid.
Like, you give presentations for your job, right? Imagine giving a presentation for 9 hours straight. It's like, after a while, you would be like, I don't want to talk ever again.
See, this is, and this is where it differs for me, because I like presentations. I was one of those obnoxious pieces of shit back in like middle school, high school, even college, where if there was ever like a group project or something to present, I would always insist on being the one to actually do the presentations, which is fine because I was better at it than everyone else. Those dumbasses had social anxiety and I don't. So I could do whatever. Yeah, but you're autistic. Yes, true. I'm that kind of autistic, you know. It's my power. Hassan streams 9 hours, 6 days a week. You stream 4 hours, 3 days a week. I don't stream 3 days a week. Also, like 50 people so far have said he streams more than I do. Obviously, I know, but it's not relevant to what I'm saying. We're talking about like how we perceive or enjoy the kind of work that streaming is, you know? I think the main thing that a lot of people don't understand about streaming is that in streaming, unlike in normal social interactions, there's no pretext for taking a break. Anytime you're having social interactions with any other person in any job at any point, even something like a call center or working, you know, as a cashier or whatever, there are always pauses, moments. You turn your head to the side, you speak quietly, a moment with a coworker you don't entirely dislike. There are all these complexities that can allow you even a few seconds. But if you're live streaming, as long as you're here, you are on that shit fully. And there's always people looking to clip or record or take what you say out of context too. So it's a different kind of environment, and it can be stressful in some ways, but in a lot of ways, you know, I really like doing this. So it's just a personal thing. Why is his face cam so big? Because he's talking to chat. He has his face cam larger when he talks to chat. Anyway, yeah, meaningless drama. Silly. Silly, silly. 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 I feel like my beard isn't perfectly Bosch dealing at the casino. There was no walking away or stopping until the assigned break times. 300 to 450 hands an hour while having conversations nonstop. Yeah, it sounds really exhausting. Now, my issue is that he tries to compare sitting on his ass all day to general retail. I don't even need to read past your sentence, so I'm not. I'm not actually reading past that sentence. The language you're using in your first sentence already betrays your weakness, and I will dismantle it without having to read anything else. We're not talking about physical activity or energy, so him sitting on his ass all day isn't really a relevant factor in what he's referring to. He's only talking about expended social energy. The comparison he's making is one of his personal experience. How much social energy you exert in any situation is really subjective. Like, you can't, he's not making the argument that, like, streaming is more physically taxing than construction work. That would be a silly thing to say. It's also something you can kind of objectively measure, kind of, sort of. But as for the social battery element, you know, and also to put a bit of sympathy on Hasan, you know, rare from this channel, but I'll offer it. Hasan isn't just a streamer. He's the largest political streamer. There's a lot of implicit pressure that comes along with that. I know he has a tendency to, you know, get irate and argue with his own chat in ways that, you know, sometimes gets a bit silly, and some of that social imposition is maybe self-inflicted, but that doesn't change the fact that, you know, there are specific pressures there that just are, they're unique to the job is what I mean. They're specific to the field. As a former cam boy, I can tell you even dealing with a few dozen viewers can be draining. Oh. Yeah. I have so much sympathy and respect for sex workers. Can you imagine anything more stressful than having to be beautiful all the time in live video? Do you have any idea how unflattering live video on a stream is? Like, it's not like photos or even videos you take in your phone where you can delete them if you, like, oh, you fuck up the angle here. Nobody looks beautiful at all times in all lighting from every angle. Like, period, right? Like, that's a whole skill set. The skill and confidence necessary to be beautiful in, like, I don't know, even a Chatterbait stream or something. Remarkable amount of skill. I have a lot of sympathy. I can't imagine how difficult that is to maintain all the time. I do? Okay, you do. Yes, a lot of you are, I'm sure, sex workers. Sex workers also have to be therapists to insecure guys. Yes, that is also true. I know, Sisyphus. People just job shame sex workers and say it's an easy job. I would say that being a sex worker, especially a cammer, I'm talking online, not prostitutes. So just anyone online who does sex work, but especially a person who does live cams, a harder job than almost any regular job you could have. The amount of, like, stress and scrutiny, job insecurity, and also keeping yourself beautiful is difficult. Like, I'm speaking from the perspective of a large, strong man. So maybe I get myself into different situations than other people, but I nick and bruise myself all the time. Picking stuff up, moving. Oh, I have to, like, break down a bunch of cardboard boxes. Oh, get a prick of my thumb from a little staple. Oh, I've got to move this furniture around because I'm the one who can do it. Like, oh, you know, I bumped my knee, got a bruise there. Like, oh, scrape this, da-da. And, like, these are things you have to avoid. You know, hand models are very protective of their hands. It's like, and that's just abrasions. What about keeping the weight off? This isn't the case for every camera, but there are a lot of very beautiful models out there, and the effort it takes to stay in tip-top shape all the time, whew, that's a lot of effort. How do we go from Biden State of the Union to this? Benjamin, you've been here the whole time. You know how we got here. Cuts and scratches are attractive. I think that abrasions on a cute girl are attractive because I like the idea of them being sort of tomboyish and outdoorsy. But I'm not out there on Chatterbait dropping hundreds of dollars as a, you know, cam girl whale, okay? The kinds of people who do that probably definitely don't have the same lenient attitude towards stuff like that. Rashes, acne, good lord. Oh, I don't doubt it, Stugans. You need to donate to sex workers, Vosh. I donate to sex workers by matching with them, hooking up with them, and buying dinner. Okay, that's more than enough. And we go to nice restaurants. I feel that's sufficient compensation. I'm sorry, Benjamin. That's true, Benjamin. But who pays for the dinner? I just said I pay for the dinner. Do you go 50-50 or cover it all? I wouldn't go 50-50. I was going on a date with somebody unless they were as wealthy or wealthier than me. And it's not about being a gentleman. It's just like, why would I do that? You know? Like, you go out with some like, you know, graduate, cute, you know, whatever, 40K a year. Like, oh, no, you pay for half of this. Sure. I mean, why not, right? That's pretty Sigma. Probably not Cthulhu Osios. All right, well, I'm tired. I think I said that I was going to read out donations from yesterday's stream in today's stream, but frankly, you guys need to learn a lesson about unmet expectations, discipline, and the consequences of encouraging me to drink. I will, however, be streaming tomorrow. I don't know if it'll be in the morning or the night. What's up with that Philippine salt thing? Berman got it for me. There's a, I think, Insider video on it. By boiling seawater inside of a pottery jar with a bunch of coconut rinds in the water beforehand and boiling it over and over and over and over and over, you get a perfect orb of salt. See? These are the, what are they called? The flues? The flutes? Something like that? That allow the water to boil off from the thickest part in the inside. Neat, right? It's very heavy. Yes. You found it not on fire yet. There we go. A rare Filipino artisanal sea salt from the Boholano people made from filtering seawater through ashes. Here you go. Does it taste better than my salt? It's a very unique flavor that I like. A sharp taste with smoky and fruity undertones. I'd say that's the case. Yeah. The craft is nearly extinct in modern times. Made only by a few families today. No, I still have truffle salt. All right. Good Lord, Kanye. All right, I'm going to send you guys off. There are probably still plenty of people doing serious political responses right now, but from me, you'll have to wait a little while longer. I'm going to send you off to... I see, fuck, what's her name? Transgender_Marks on Twitter. No, on Twitch. Juniper, that's it, Juniper. Playing Smash Melee. I didn't know she played Smash Melee. I'm going to send you over to... I'll send you over to Shark. Been a little while since we hosted Shark, huh? Here. You guys take care. I'm going to relax and drink a bunch of water. She's been grinding Melee for a few weeks. She's actually pretty good. Well, shit, I like watching Melee streamers, and I think Juniper's funny on Twitter. I'd watch, but I feel like my presence there would be perceived as a threat, as is so often the case. Well, I'm sending you off. Good luck. I'll read donos tomorrow.